Good evening and welcome to the GSRC Brands Hatch Round 2 GT1. Zach Caban will be along very shortly, but we are on the grid and about to get going. Bit of an abbreviated start here. I think I might have heard some noise in the background there. You there, Zach?
Hello, Trucker. Hello, everybody. Yeah, you caught me off guard. There's no doubt about that. When we signed off last night, it was a case of see you tomorrow night about 8:30, and all of a sudden, here you are, ready to rock and roll for GT1. This is a surprise for all and sundry, mate.
It is, mate. Yeah. I had messaged Adam. I probably should have relayed the message to yourself, but here we go. We're on the grid, ready to go.
Indeed we are. It's a good thing I had most of what I needed set up ready to rock and roll, Joe. Made it very easy to get in here, ready to rock and roll. And interesting to note, cloudy conditions, Brands Hatch. We shouldn't be surprised at that. It is a sprint round as well, so there will be a compulsory splash and dash to the second part of the night in the feature race, of course. So there are the circuit conditions, 2:30 local server time. And 6 km/h winds, 26 degrees the ambient. That's a warm British day. And 38 on track. 3.89 kilometres this circuit. It is an old legendary classic, and it is ready to host the second round of GSRC's GT1 Civil War for Term 3. Let's go to work. Racing now. Good start. Power down. And Andrew Dyson pretty much. Oh, he's bowled it wide at one.
Oh, another
and
one.
trouble behind. Massive crash. Trouble from the start. In the wall, we've got Dylan Walker. We've also got Brendan Grosh off the road. Further up the road, Luke Page is in trouble. And they're all chasing their tail for the balance of the night. Joe, I was going to say Andrew Dyson. He's got a bit of work to do. Adam Funslow has benefited greatly from the fact that Dyso was able to muck up the start going into turn one. He bowled it wide, cold tyres, got a little bit too deep into the corner. But it won't take him long to restore order, I wouldn't imagine. Joe pretty much looking to pick up where he left off last week, which was a clinical performance at Sebring.
It certainly was, but I'll tell you what, if you want to talk about polar opposite track and conditions, this place is it. Like, it's smooth, all that undulating, a little bit of English flavour, I guess you'd say. It's one of the classic England tracks, and a fantastic venue for these cars too. Like, I don't think we've had a bad race around here with the GT1 or GT3s for that matter. It's a track very much suited to this style of car, so looking to see what these guys can do. But I'm sure there's some very sore and sorry guys like Dylan Walker and Brandon Grosh. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like they just caught out with the cold tyres and dived there. Was there a contact? I tell you what, that looked like a bit of netcode. Yeah, definitely. So very, very unlucky for Dylan. I mean, they were close, but they weren't that close. Not by my reckoning anyway. So, yeah.
Oh, Dougie Gowan showing off the road back live, and also Brendan Grosh has gone to pit road. I did see Colin Bennett dropping off the road as well, Joe. So, a fair bit going on out there early on, and Gowans is off again. It's not the rallycross version of the circuit, Dougie. Come on.
No, I tell you, might have bent steering or something. The way it's tracking there.
Looks broken.
Greg Heaney's had a bit of a trip up. What's happened to Greg? Oh, got in, just pinched the rears. Way it's gone.
And a Chev is all of a sudden doing Porsche things.
Well, I mean, you're trying to get a Chev to do American things on an English track. It's never going to work.
No, not at all. Hey, interesting to note when you talk about this dynamic of racing we've got here. Obviously, Aston Martin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the moment. You've got Adam Funslow leading Andrew Dyson, a couple of old experienced hands around club headquarters. Adam Lavis, Josh Zuno sitting there third and fourth, and of course the guy who deputised for me on Wednesday night, Jordan Pianazzola, sitting there in fifth. Darren Lobb has gone past him to go to fourth now, but they are arguing side by side. And look at Andrew Dyson putting the pressure right onto Adam Funslow as they head along the back of the circuit once more. This is lap 3. Remember, it says 20 laps, Joe. I'm not sure if we're going to get there on time. And Funslow down the inside has Dyson to contend with on the outside. Can he hold it around the outside? You better believe it. He's still there. He's nipping at the heels. He's knocking at the door. But Funslow holds on for now. Oh, my goodness.
If I do that, it'll actually show you that we're on 3 minutes and 55 or 15 minutes. So I change it from laps to the time, and that'll make a bit more sense for the people at home.
I was going to say there was no hope in hell we're getting 20 minutes and 15 laps.
No, 20 laps in 15 minutes would be even harder.
Yeah. Exactly. You knew where I was going.
I did.
Even if we're on the Indy circuit, we would have struggled to get the 20 laps into that 15-minute time frame, Joe. So it's an interesting one. Here's Dyson now setting up. Second time lucky in and on the preferred one on the inside. Funslow goes deep, holds it tight, and holds it well. Good run for Adam Lavis so far. I don't want to put the mocker on him. This is the second round of the Civil War. Last week, Sebring. This week, Great Britain. We alternate. We have 5 British rounds, 5 American rounds. And the reason for that, obviously, we're detailed. The Aston is the pride of the British. And, of course, the American flag being flown from the Chev Corvettes. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because you talk about the old school racetrack that Brands Hatch is, Joe. You talk about how it's... you know, it races well, it's a driver's favourite, etc. We just saw there with Funslow and Dyson going 2 by 2. That's about as far as you can stretch the envelope tonight. You won't get a lot of 3 by 3 running, I wouldn't imagine. Too narrow a racetrack for that. Mainly in these cars. If it was the Vs, you'd probably go 3 wide. Sure, no problem. But not in these big beasts.
Tell you what, this section of the track that we're riding along with Trevor as a party at the moment, it doesn't matter what car you're in. Those, like this section from around the back up to the start finish line, it's just flat out fun. Like like I said before, it's one of the great circuits of the world, and it's so demanding. Like you've got to be inch perfect to extract the lap time out of it, and you just got to go that little bit wide. And there's a lot of grass that'll carry you to the nearest bit of fence and armco around the place. It'll damage your car. So if you want to keep the pace, you got to be millimetre perfect around a place like this. And that was a good move by Travers Party on Callan Hodgkinson. I just want to go back. This guy, have a look at him, will you? Just hangs up the presidential boots on Sunday just gone at the AGM, and has handed over to another guy that's in the field here somewhere, Greg Heaney. So the way the presidency's dropped him back to 19th, but Josh has pulled the boots back on. Here he is running top 5 in a pretty stiff field, might I add. So
he said he wanted to be here last week as well, Joe, but illness prevented that. Yeah,
he's actually not well. He's I was chatting to him on the phone the other day, and he sounds terrible, the poor guy. He's riddled with the flu, as he's got Darren Lobbs actually all over him at the moment. So, yeah, great showing by Mr. Zwino at the moment. It looks like he's about to get towed up here by Lobbsy at turn 1. Darren's got the move done. Josh made it easy for him, but, yeah, he's going to pick his battles and just pick up his points, I'd say.
I'm glad that he made it easy for Darren Lobb, because at the end of the day, he has to, or he has had to enforce the rule book to the letter of the law the last 12 months, Joe. So you've got to live and die by that same sword, unfortunately, and obviously illustrating exactly how it's done in a gentlemanly etiquette manner. Now, that was a replay of Andrew Dyson finally getting the job done on Adam Funslow and going into the lead. Adam Lavis is third, so you got Andrew, Adam, and then Darren Lobb, Josh Zuno, Richard Brookfield, Jordan Pianazola, Nathan Michael, then Jolan Hansen, and Thomas Sinner currently holds down the invert. This is what happened to Jason Tierman.
Oh, a little bit wide there, Jace. Yeah, that'll unsettle the car every time, touching that curb on the outside there. Loaded up on the loaded tyre over curbs like that is always going to spit you out into the bush. So they took Daiso 5 laps into lap 5 to get the move done on Adam Funslow, and he's already put 7 tenths on him in a lap, so he's not running away with it, not like he did last week anyway. So hopefully Adam can make another good start in the next one and make a bit of a race out of it, or it'll be a snooze fest for us in the booth and everybody at home just watching Daiso run off into the distance.
It's all right, folks. If you have to have a nap and come back for IndyCar, we understand.
And they're called it.
Netcode, no further action. Yep.
Yeah, good. That's a great call. Like we had a look at it, and I think there was actually an incident last week as well. It looked like there was like 2 feet between cars and Netcode, which I don't know. It seems this build, like this current season 3, it just seems to me, even in officials, that Netcode has become a bit of an issue. Like, you used to be able to race a lot closer, whereas at the moment it seems like, you know, you've got to give that little bit extra room. I don't know, I might be imagining it, but it seems like they've probably dropped the ball. Not in all cars, but certainly in the GT cars, the Netcode seems to have gotten a little bit worse at the moment.
Well, and if you'll pardon my French this early in the broadcast, they did have their own internal cock-up the other night, our friends from iRacing. They had to shut down the entire service twice this week because the update that went through on Tuesday night did all sorts of unfavourable things to the Acura. People weren't able to load the Acura in the GT3 service, so they had to shut down the server, undo the aforementioned cock-up, and everyone had to amend their Wednesday night plans accordingly. So technology is a beautiful thing when it works, Joe.
Only when it works.
Correct.
So the price of progress, as they say.
Correct. So it was interesting because obviously with improvement, I mean, obviously the system is not foolproof. It is breakable, but thankfully they've been able to undo it, fix it up, and only with minimal disruption. And we've been able to get the Acura back into life. So that is, and back into circulation, which is really, really good. Andrew Dyson leads. Adam Funslow is second. Now, 1 minute 20 lap times around here, Joe. I'm not a gambling man, but 1:20 and 2 is 2:40 and 1 is 4. So 4 4s are 16, 4 3s, 12 laps should be the distance here. And we're about to start lap 9 with Andrew Dyson coming through, and he's just completed lap number 8. So we're on track, I would imagine, to get this race in to its full scheduled 12-lap distance based on the time certainty factor of 15 minutes. Then we invert the top 10, mate, which will be very, very interesting to keep an eye on. That'll throw the cat amongst the pigeons and bring us, hopefully, a bit of fireworks in the form of some overtaking and some jockeying for position, because, as you say, with the exception of Nathan Michael, Thomas Sinner, Joel Hansen and Travis Azzopardi, who are keeping one another real good company at the moment, everybody else is spread out beyond any sort of recognition with a view to a positional battle. So it's basically a case of going through the motions, ticking the box, consolidating the points and resetting and going again. Remembering too, folks, because we didn't do this at the start, given how pressed we were for time, the interesting thing here is once we're done with the GT1 Civil War, we'll spin the wheel to determine the MtnMen car of choice for tomorrow night. That was a bit of a wild ride there for Joel and Hansen. Trav is trying to get his way into the top 10. Into trouble! Now, has Trav walked into that? And has Joel and Hansen done that on his own? Let's have another look at this. I'll come back to the housekeeping in just a moment.
He's a long way back. I think Jolin's done that on his own.
Yeah, big time. Surely. Let's have a look. It's the next corner. It's the next corner. Yes, he has. He absolutely has. Too far back, gone.
Oh, yes.
Sure, Trav's finished him off, but he was already well gone.
He was,
by that point.
So he'd already had an off track and then, got up and was still squirrely. So, Trav's a little bit wide. So, Callum Hodgkinson, I'll tell you what, he's going to have the eyes on right now, do you reckon?
Absolutely.
One more spot, and that's going to put him on the invert. So, this is your race for the pole in the feature race. There's only 2 laps to go. So, I think probably he is about the closest battle we've got in the top 10, and it's for that 10th position anyway. So, see whether or not Trav can get away from Callan at the moment, because this is where your race is at.
Just keep an eye on the clock. A quarter of a lap to go for Andrew Dyson. Again, my mathematics suggest that he gets back to the line and gets 2 laps here. But if he only gets 1, then I think we're going to be sold slightly short. Let's have a look. Round he comes onto the main straight. Oh, we'll do it easy. He'll do it with about 5 seconds up his sleeve. Beautiful. Across the line. No white flag flying. Let's go one more time around. He's going to get back to the line with about 4 seconds on the clock, Trucker. 1 minute 20.557, fastest lap of the race that time through. So we will go 12 laps, but we will do overtime to get them complete. It's interesting, right? Luke Page is off the road. Luke Page is off the road. That's the Whiskey Business Luke Page off the road. Drops down behind Brian Bullock. So Andrew, Adam, then Darren Lobb, Richard Brookfield, Jordan Pianazzola, 4, 5 and 6. This is what happened to Luke Page. A little bit of grass. Bit of grass to the next corner, and then unsettled car through the kitty litter. Some positional gains and losses for everybody. 11 for Richard Brookfield, 9 for Darren Lobb, 8 for Callan Hodgkinson. And positional losses, well, 19 for Dylan Walker, the clubhouse leader there at the moment, and was all done on the opening lap. Brendan Grosh down 13 spots in 17th at the moment. And a little bit of recovery. Whoa, Walker, you can tell he's cranky. Leaving nothing on the table there. Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only person to blame for that's actually iRacing themselves with that net code on lap 1 was terrible for everybody. I tell you what, Tommy Sinner's given Josh a bit of a hurry up, isn't he?
White flag flies at Brands. Consider find away by Zuno. Let's wait and see.
He does.
Yes, he does. Up into 7th. One more time around. Thorn Weggett hopefully not putting the mocker on himself. He just said it's nice and quiet here in race control. I can put the feet up, crack over to Cody, watch the stream.
Don't ever say that because your life will change in a heartbeat.
Watch the start of race 2, I reckon, is where you're going to have your work cut out for you. So no worry about that.
Absolutely.
We will go around the grounds tonight as well, folks. Don't worry about that. We will have all the latest from the NRL, the AFL, the British Open, of course, second round of the Open Championship from Birkdale, and of course, Le Tour de France gets underway about 9:20 Eastern time tonight as well. So a big night of sport, and we'll stay across it as best we can. Practice for the Belgian Formula 1 Grand Prix as soon as we're done. Andrew Dyson's making his way into the final corner. Here's a replay of what happened to Martin Davis in the meantime. Davis having a spin down at turn 2, just throwing it too deep into the corner and struggling to catch it. Andrew Dyson's victorious here. His second win of the season. Another clinical, commanding performance. Didn't have it all his own way. Bowled it wide on the opening lap on cold tyres, but recovered nicely and made light work of Adam Funslow and won by 4.64 seconds. Funslow, Lavis, Lobb, Brookfield, Pianazzola on the top 6. Simi got home for 7th. Zuno 8th will start 3rd. Nathan, Michael and Travis Azzopardi, the Whiskey Business Racing teammates, will share the front row for race 2, and we're looking forward to that immensely. We understand, obviously, the other interesting point in all of what's going on tonight is our good mates, our colleagues, Joe, over at the Australian Sim Racing Group, and a few of our regulars will be lining up as co-drivers or as main game drivers in all of this. It's a Sandown 500 night for them for the Logitech G Pro Invitational Supercar Series. So good luck to all and sundry over there. I reckon it's one of those nights where you need your sports bar set up just for sim racing, mate. Us on one screen, them on the other, but of course them on mute, but don't tell them I said that. And we'll keep you across what's going on as best we can throughout the course of the evening. And with any sort of luck, we'll wrap up before they do. So you'll be able to go and catch the finish of the Sandown 500 as well. Well done, Andrew Dyson. Well done, Adam Funslow. Well done, Adam Lavis. We're here with thanks to Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, merch.tgsrci.com, Trophy AI, and Flash Graphics. Results from race 1, there they are. We've run through the top 10 for you. Callan Hodgkinson, unlucky, got back to 11th. 12th for Dougie Gowans. Luke Page, Brian Bullock, Brendan Grosh, Joel and Hanson, Jason Tierman, Colin Bennett, Greg Heaney, and Martin Davis, the top 20. Dylan Walker, the last of the finishers. And there you have it.
With the late start
in the books.
One thing we can just quickly go back and have a look at is this is how the standings look as we came into tonight in the GT1 series.
It did indeed, and as you can see, domination, really, for the Aston Martins in the opening week on enemy territory. 6 of them in the top 10. Dyson from Lob, Funslow, Azzopardi, Page, Sinner, Lavis, Nathan Michael, Brian Bullock, and James Katia, the top 10. Didn't see Katia on the grid. Should make an apology to the 22nd finisher in that race was Rodney Gollan. He will start from 22nd on the grid for this feature race. But yeah, Andrew Dyson's to lose at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. He's he's now 2 for 2, and we got a third race coming up. Let's see if we can go 3 races, 3 victories. I don't know how we will go around here. Mind you, though, it is a little bit longer. I think was it 25 minutes? I think this one. So he's got a little bit longer to do it clean and get through, but he's got some tough customers up in front of him there, like Darren, Lob, Brookfield starting 6 in front of him, and Funslow as well. So it should be a good battle. Do I think Dyso's capable of it? Absolutely, I do.
Gonna have to earn his stripes here. Might have to think strategically about this, Joe. Time to run with the compulsory pit stop.
Yeah, got to keep it clean. If he's, I mean, it depends on your fuel level, right? So if you've got enough fuel where you can pit early, get out of traffic, and get out and finish the race, which I'm sure that's possible, I'd be pitting about it as early as possible. Get in, get out of the traffic. Someone's in the pit lane. Oh no, that's the safety car. Safety car.
Although you are right, Martin Davis has started from pit lane as well. But that was the safety car we're picking up on screen. Down we go to turn 3. So a clean start. Travis Azzopardi leads them away. Nathan Michael, Josh Zuno, Thomas Sinner and Jordan Pianazzola. Funslow already up 2 spots. Dyson's...
Callan.
That was Thorn Weggett's... No. Thorn's in race control. Why is he showing on my timing screen? Callan Hodgkinson bowls it off the road. I'm seeing names plummet up and down. Like musical chairs and seesaws. And I couldn't make sense of who was dropping down the order. We've got Dylan Walker back into 15th already. Rodney Gollan's dropped up into 20th spot. Martin Davis, Jason Tierman round us out. Travis Azzopardi leads Nathan Michael and Thomas Sinner. Andrew Dyson sits 10th at the moment. Here's what happened to Dylan Walker. Oh, dear.
Oh, no. Oh, big crash.
Had to see it coming.
Let's just try and unpick this a little bit. We'll jump on board. Oh, yeah, that's probably not a good look there. Not sure who the other car was that was involved there. What was that? Oh, initial bit of contact. There you go. Like front on again. Like there was an initial little bit of contact, but the secondary contact looked like netcode to me again. So who's in the black car? Was that Bullock?
The black car. Which black car? The one behind Bullock?
One that was involved with Dylan.
With Walker. Okay, yeah. So let's have a look. I think you're right. Let's.
No.
Yeah. So Brian's arrived late on scene. Callan Hodgkinson was the one turned around before that. Darren Lobb's just got off the road too, by the way, and so too is Josh Zuno. That's live. We'll have a look at that in a moment.
Green car.
So on the inside of Walker.
Gowans maybe.
Dougie, yeah. Potentially.
Oh, got it all going on. We better go back to the live. Trying to unpick that one. That was a fairly substantial incident, that one. So, but it's when you're seeing it front, like the initial contact was probably on a bit of each of them, just racing room. But it looked like that secondary contact that actually turned Dylan Walker might have been netcode. It's, yeah, I'd hate to be in race control.
See, Thornton spoke too soon. You're absolutely right. Azzopardi, Michael, Sinner, Pianazzola, and Funslow, the top 5. Dive down on the inside here. That was Sinner looking on Nathan Michael. Couldn't get it done. Through we go. It's all happening at Brands. First trip to the United Kingdom for this season. And you're right, Dyson making light work here. He's already up 2 spots. Brendan Grosh and Luke Page in behind him. He's chasing Adam Lavis. Now, he's actually benefited from Josh Zuno and Darren Robb dropping off the road. Need to have a look at how this happened. Here it is on replay.
Netcode again.
Netcode again, absolutely.
See, the gap was huge.
Oh, no, Nathan Michael on top of centre. Nathan Michael on top of centre. Crash at the front, Joe. Let's have a look at this. My goodness. Nathan Michael's been left behind. Adam Fonslow limping away. Travis Azzopardi has gone to the lead. Dyson's got up in a 7th spot. All hell has broken loose at Brands. We'll need another look at that incident. Oh, Zuno's gone around as well. I reckon that this will be a critical lap for quite a few people. Coming in to get a fast repair.
So what happened? It's already happened here. Hang on. So one blow came back on track here. Oh gosh. Oh, Mav's caught up. One blow. Here we go. This is where it's... Oh, no, he's already... Oh, golly. There's a lot to unpick in that, and I don't even know where to stick the needle to start. Oh, Nathan Michael's off track as we come back live.
Again. And would you believe it, I've just given everybody the heads up with regards to the San Diego 500 for our colleagues over at the ASRG, and they're sending out the feelers for somebody to jump in and take Scotty Rankin's place because he's having the same PC issues that have fallen foul on so many of our broadcasters and drivers over the last couple of weeks. So, and I've just said to them, look, sorry boys, I'm already halfway through a broadcast. I could not possibly. There will come a day, Joe, where we can do a mega wall sort of thing and we can jump in and out of 2 races and commentate them simultaneously, but it ain't tonight.
It certainly ain't tonight, that's for sure.
No.
And now, this is what I called it before. Daiso, he has rolled the dice.
Yeah.
So he's like, nah, you guys are crazy. I'm getting out of this mix. So he's decided to take his pit stop. As has Nathan Michael, trying to cover the damage that he's had. So he's pitted. Oh God, it's all going on tonight. You did warn our RC.
Trouble taking Gowans has been turned around this time by Luke Page, was it? Or was it somebody else? Dylan Walker, maybe? I'm not sure. We need to... who was ahead of Page there? Was that Dylan Walker returning serve on Dougie?
That might have been Dylan Walker.
Was that a bit of a square up?
Oh, I tell you
what.
what.
It was. This is a get square. This is payback for earlier. Bang. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Dylan, you, son, have been caught in the spotlight of a bump and run. I'll leave that one up to RC. That's not my call.
And that might actually answer what we were trying to work out earlier, whether it was Walker and Gowans that came together earlier.
I think it might have been on lap 1.
Yeah. Because we were struggling to ident the other car just from the angles that we had, and we didn't have the ident coming in. Yeah, I think you're right. So that's payback. That's not how we wheel and deal, is it, Joe?
Well, it shouldn't be in the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Gowans, he's in the pits.
Dougie Gowans comes in, so that'll be on the back of, that lap's already a write-off, so I may as well come in, get the job done, tick the box, adhere to the requirements, and then try and push on unscathed for the balance of the night. But have a look at this. Travis Azzopardi leads by 3 seconds from Jordan Pianazzola, Richard Brookfield, Brendan Grosh, and Dylan Walker. There's an asterisk next to Walker. Heaney is the last on track yet to stop. Daiso went in and out in 6.47 seconds. He's now just got by Greg Heaney. Oh dear. Good night to be in race control. James Katia also not on track, but is listed on our run sheet in the server here, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. Don't forget Indycar from Nashville, the Music City, coming up very shortly, folks. We're looking forward to that. The country music capital of the United States. Dylan Walker to pit lane. And there is Luke Page. So unfortunately, Joe, all the fireworks have come and gone very quickly. And it's all spread out too much for the sake of it. But it gives me an opportunity to tell everybody that around the grounds at the moment, the Roosters Storm match is about to start in the NRL. Earlier tonight, the Broncos accounted for the Panthers last night, 14-12. The Knights went down to the Sharks earlier this evening, 20-18. So two 2-point ball games already this early in the season. And if you're a Sydney Swans supporter, I wouldn't be booking tickets to the MCG on the last Saturday in September the way they're going at the moment. They're losing to Adelaide. Adelaide have bolted out of the blocks. 4-4-28 leads 2-0-12. And that is live on 7 and 7, mate, around the country. The NRL live on 9 and 9 Gem, of course. We should also mention that the Sandown 500 for the V8 Pro is live over on the SimSpeed Esports Network. And we are, of course, here live on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club on what is a huge Friday night. It gets bigger next week too, Joe, because the Commonwealth Games get underway and we usually just tear it to shreds there too. So a lot to be excited about. The big sporting events just keep rolling on. FIFA World Cup final weekend coming up as well. Andrew Neil dobbing you in, throwing you under the bus. I could hear some chatter at your end, but I wasn't going to mention it. Now that Neely's mentioned it in the comment section.
Yes, I was.
You are having afternoon tea, aren't you? Yes.
No, that was my dinner.
Oh, that was dinner? Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
my work schedule, mate. I didn't even get home last night. I had to stay in another town. I got stuck down at Manjimup, ran out of hours to get me home. So, yeah, sorry, I should have muted me mic then. I didn't realise it was going to pick that up. So that was my fork and my face, yes. Sorry, Andrew.
Very good. Nothing wrong with his ears.
No,
good
certainly not.
Detail there from Andrew. Very good stuff.
Martin Davis, he grabbed a little bit of curb here. No. Oh,
hasn't missed a beat though. That's not missed a beat. That's unfortunate.
Ooh, Dylan Walker.
That's collateral. And the old rage quit, I reckon.
Oh,
gone. Wrong place, wrong time. Hard to avoid a spinning object.
Yeah.
Dylan Walker's done.
Yep.
Tierman and Heaney are almost a lap down at this point. Off track goes Josh Zuno. Off track goes Cullen Hodgkinson. Zuno drops to 15th, 16th now.
And look, just to, I don't think there was anything in that for Dylan. It looked like he was trying to go wide and just, unfortunately.
Take around the outside.
Yeah, every last Jericho Gravy did too, actually. It was, yes, it was very nice.
Oh, dear. I love it. He won't be getting any referrals to Amplified anytime soon, Andrew Neil. Won't need it. That's very good pickup from him. I was noticing something, but I just assumed you were just moving some stuff around. I had no idea that you were multitasking, and they said it couldn't be done. Martin Davis to pit road, Joe. And at that point, only 7 cars yet to stop in this race. Cullen Hodgkinson, Darren Lobb, Luke Page, Richard Brookfield, Brendan Grosh, Jordan Piatazzola and Travis Azzopardi. The number I want you to keep an eye on, mate, is 22.6. That's the margin between Trav and Dyson. And Dyson we're keeping an eye on with a view to doing the double tonight.
And speaking of Dyso, he's absolutely the first car to have pitted. So,
yeah.
And here's Trav now. Trav's in. You called it. So we'll follow this one.
Pianazzola's going to lead a lap. Grosh is going to tuck into second spot. Brookfield to third. Funslow put 2 wheels in the dirt, but keeps the boot into it. The margin between Funslow and Dyson, by the way, is 8 seconds.
That's right. Extraordinary. Here he comes. Here's Dyson.
Adam Lavis. He's got him. He's got him. Around the outside. There he goes. Effective race leader Andrew Dyson back in front. Played the game beautifully. Called the strategy to perfection. Brilliant stuff. Now on track for the nightly double. Rodney Gollan currently showing off the road and buried deep off the road. He gets it back going. A lot of runoff area here to work with, Joe.
There is.
That's probably the good thing about the circuit, but You do yourself no favour by ending up out in the weeds.
Oh.
It's almost ended up back in the pit lane.
Very, very easy for... I thought he was going to do the ejecto seat to the pit lane, but no, he kept going. So very easy to do there. That's actually... that is... What corner is that one called? I can't remember. My brain's not braining at the moment, but it's sort of, it's off camber a little bit as you brake for that to turn and go up the hill. It's named after a motorcycle racer. What is it, Zach? That left-hander.
Oh, I don't have the name on me at the moment. Let me bring up the track map, Joe. Let me see if I can educate myself at the same time as educating everybody else. Nick Fodiatis is the one you need with regards to all that.
He's brilliant with that sort of stuff, isn't he?
Brilliant with that. Me, I'm not so. That would be Surtees.
Surtees, that's right.
Yeah, yep.
So, and I believe Surtees, did he win a world motorcycle championship and then went Formula One racing? Is that him, John Surtees?
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. Very, very talented man.
I might keep doing some Googling, Joe. Let's give everybody a history lesson on a Friday night.
And speaking of history lessons, the only other person that I'm aware of that came very, very close to doing that was Valentino Rossi. And it's quite famous. A number of years ago, he did an F1 test and was within half a second, I think, from memory, or might have been within 6/10 of Schumacher at Fiorano in the same car.
Yeah, and he was brilliant. Absolutely
he was
brilliant.
Amazingly fast, and I believe they actually even offered him a contract, and he went, "Oh no, I'll stay on two wheels." And he did another 10 years in the Premier class after that, but just shows you how talented the guy was. He could have done anything, and he also did rallying as well, I think, from memory.
Yeah. Yep, and if you needed any more indication as to how talented the bloke still is, look at what he's been able to do in the last couple of years for BMW in the endurance racing, in the Intercontinental GT Challenge. He'll be back at Mount Panorama next year, I'm sure. Now, Dougie Gowans, no further action due to netcode on lap 1. Now, that's an interesting one. So, netcode again. Dylan Walker would be hating netcode tonight. That's probably one of the reasons he's parked up and called it a night.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, but
I'd be filthy.
I'll be interested to see what happens in the next one. Dougie Gowans has gone round again. Back to Johnny Surtees. Now, this is an interesting one, right? So, active from the years 1952 to 1972, so 21 years of racing. In the Grand Prix motorcycles, 1952 Ulster Grand Prix was his first race. His last race was the 1960 500cc Nations Grand Prix. He's taken wins in 250cc racing. He won championships in both 500cc and 350cc. Then he went Formula One racing and had 6 wins, 24 podium finishes and 8 pole positions. For Lotus, also Parnell, Ferrari, Cooper, Honda, BRM and Surtees. So there you go. You don't see that multidiscipline stuff anywhere near as much as you used to. He was one of the great exponents of it, no doubt about that. 34-19 Adelaide leads Sydney as they approach quarter time at the Sydney Cricket Ground Friday night football. I'll have an update from the British Open for you a little bit later on. Josh Zuno coming to pit lane just as we say that. I'll update you on the golf. I'll update you on Formula One practice when it gets underway and so much more. It's a big night, a huge night of sport right here. We wouldn't have it any other way. And we have Indycar from Nashville coming up at 8:45 Eastern time. We are 7.5 minutes away from the checkered flag here, Joe. And again, going on the notion of what I was saying earlier with regards to the lap numbers. So what we say, 3 laps every 4 minutes. So 6 4s are 24, 6 3s are 18, 19 laps we're probably looking at tonight. We've just started lap 14 now with Jordan Pianazzola. 6 laps in 7 minutes. Yeah, that works. That works because 6 laps in 8 minutes is about where we're at. We'll use the minute of overtime to our advantage. And we've still got pit-stops to come for Pianazzola, Brookfield, Page, Lobb and Dyson. And
one of the things as well, talking about talented guys. Australia had one, and we lost him way too early. Was our own Greg Hansford.
100%.
Guy was a multi-Australian champion superbike racer, and he also won Bathurst with the likes of Larry Perkins. You know, like
1993.
Just an incredibly talented guy, taken way too early. Like the accident that actually took his life was. It was a freak accident in a front-wheel drive car with cold tyres, and everybody agreed that it just was something that shouldn't happen. And it was never, just one of those unfortunate things where he went off and he hit an immovable object, unfortunately, and claimed his life. But incredibly talented guy, and from what I understand, I reckon he was also one of the nicest guys in the pits as well.
I'm not laughing at what Joe was saying. Obviously, that's a very serious topic of discussion, but I am having a chuckle at some of the comments coming in. Holy net code, guys, it's bad today, says Thorn Wiggett from Race Control. And Pianazzola, Brookfield, Page and Lob all in that time through. Dyson re-inherits the lead. 6 seconds to the good on Grosh as a party and Pianazzola. Rodney Gollan's still on pit road at the moment. And Adam Lavis showing a lap down. So Lavis a lap down, so too Gollan. Walker and Bennett, the two retirees so far. 5-second penalty for Darren Lobb. Avoidable contact on Josh Sumo on lap 3. That one not necessarily a surprise. Dyson, Grosh as a party, Pianazzola the top 4. We're watching Dyson circulate lap 15. What was interesting too, Sean Benici in there, he said Brands is the best circuit on the service, except Sebring. So in his opinion, we've had the best 2 circuits in the world the first 2 weeks of the GT1 Civil War campaign, and therefore it can only go downhill from him in his opinion. Now,
did you imagine getting him and Nick Foe, the artist, in a ring?
Oh no, wouldn't it be great? we'll have to facilitate that at some point. We'll have to make it happen.
I don't know. Could get ugly.
The other interesting thing thankfully it'll just be a verbal stash, and I'm all for that. Dylan Walker gets a 10-second penalty for the contact on Dougie Gowans. That one is not a surprise. But it amounts to nothing now because Dylan Walker is out of the race, of course. Here comes Nathan Michael. You heard Joe grimace about this. He was too deep into the corner and loops it round.
That's an unusual one from Nathan. He's usually fairly handy, but that one, just obviously didn't brake early enough. Just fumbled it out onto that curb, and we've seen 3 or 4 guys have the exact same trip up on that curb on the outside, trying to arrest the speed of the car, get up over that. No, hey, maybe it bottoms out underneath these cars because these things are very low. So it's obviously just bottoms out, gets the wheels off the deck, and just spins them out. And quite aggressive curves around here too.
Well, Joe. Yeah, absolutely. Very aggressive. Cooper Friend also, I think it was, put in the comments section there that he's not a huge fan of the GT1, but this looks like fun. So it's going to be interesting to see if that entices him to come back and have a steer at some point. Joel and Hansen down in 16th, returns to the racetrack. Move on. Oh, what about that from Darren Lobb down on the inside of Luke Page, if you don't mind?
That would just about go down as overtake of the race for me. That was fantastic. Let's go and have a look from the Indycar. Long way back. Look at this. Lobs it up the inside. See what I did there?
Yep.
That great move, actually. Very, well-controlled move by Darren. That's, pass of the race for me. That was great.
Very, very punny stuff from you as well, Joe. I like it.
Dad jokes abound.
Dyson leads. We're on lap 17. We should get 2 more. We should get up to 19 with Andrew Dyson out along the back of the circuit for the third last time. Remembering that he only needs to get back to the flag somewhere around that 23.5-minute mark to ensure that we get some overtime tonight. Speaking of overtime, don't worry, we'll go on board and enjoy this with Dyso.
Oh, such a fun circuit. This is great. You get this apex right, drift it out to the outside, heavy braking zone, but carry speed across the apex, let it drift out to the outside, use all the track, Oh, it's heaven when you get it right. It's absolute disaster when you don't, because the fences are just that little bit too close to with the grass there. But fun part of iRacing is this circuit around the back there, just from the back straight around to here. Love it, absolutely love it.
Nothing wrong with the Indy circuit either. Is that an off-track at turn 3, says Cooper Friend. I would imagine so. You can only take so much of the AstroTurf on the outside of the ripple strip there before they hand you an invoice, mate.
They're quite... No, actually, it's not there. That where he just went there, that AstroTurf on the outside, so long as you make it back onto the racetrack by the end of that AstroTurf, it doesn't actually give you an off-track. It's... do I think it's right? No, but...
No.
Yeah, I've always maintained, and I've said, like, when we adjudicate things, so the white line on the edge of the track, and I've had arguments with guys about this, and I'm absolutely straight down the line. If you put all 4 wheels outside of that white line, I don't care what track on we are, and I'm pretty sure this is how our rules are written, that if you go outside those white lines with all 4, and come back onto the track and you're involved in an incident, you are held responsible. Because the racetrack is inside them white lines.
And fair enough too.
Here's Barney. He's waving the white flag. There he is. He's made an appearance this week
tonight. We weren't expecting that.
No, he's actually right
somewhere. So, black flag, Callan Hodgkinson. Black flag, Callan Hodgkinson. Nathan Michael and Greg Heaney also showing off the road, Joe. Oh, no, the 2 teammates. They've had an incident.
What's happened here with Heaney? Oh, he's on his own. He's done it on his own too. Oh, yeah. Oh, awkward.
And Nathan Michael's going to arrive. And Oh, wow. Slight contact. But they've both done it isolatedly. They've done it individually. Monkey see, monkey do. Synchronised sort of pirouetting.
We've all seen the movie and heard that song, that anything you can do, I can do better. And he just followed him in there. Bit of a battle here for the top 5.
So, final corners, final lap. Thomas Sinner sits there in 6th spot. Can he fend off Richard Brookfield on the run to the checkered flag? We'll wait and see. Time's going to run out, however. At the front, Andrew Dyson doubles up at Brands. Remains undefeated so far in the GSRC GT1 Civil War in 2026 in turn 3. What about that? 3 races down. He's got his hat-trick. 2 clean sweeps, 2 round wins, 2 dominations. That race win, 11.52 seconds.
Close.
And just to add insult to injury, Joe, he finished with the fastest lap of the race to rub salt into the wound of everybody else. 1 minute 20.006. It was nearly in the 19s. 11.52 seconds. That's a party in for 3rd behind Brendan Grosh. Good run for Jordan Bianazzola over to 4th. Richard Brookfield 5th, just as you said, held off Thomas Sinner. You saw that live. Darren Wobbin, okay recovery. Luke Page, and then Adam Fanslow, Brian Bullock, Doug Gowans, and Callan Hodgkinson. Josh Suno in for 13th. And then Martin Davis, Jason Tierman, Jolan Hansen, Greg Heaney, Nathan Michael. Adam Lavis has finished a couple of laps down. And Rodney Gollan finishes within 75%, so he'll be classified. The 2 DNFs, the 3 retirements, Netcode, Dylan Walker, and Colin Bennett. And I think it's only fair that we mention Netcode, because that is what defeated Dylan Walker in the long run, I think.
I think Netcode finished 4th tonight, didn't it?
Extraordinary amount of Netcode. Yeah. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about Netcode. My goodness.
Look, I tell you what, if I was Dylan Walker right now, I'd be writing a very, very sternly worded letter to iRacing's inbox very, very quickly. So that was, not good for Dylan and a couple of the other guys there. Just Netcode killed guys' races tonight. That's, they need to do something about it. But moving on with that one, here's your results. Dyson, Grosh, As a Party, I'll leave that one for you. Brookfield, Sinner. Is it Pianazola?
Yeah, it's Pianazola. I've trusted you.
Yeah, I think I've got it right before.
Yeah.
I actually spoke to him about it, and he did say I got it right. So, Darren Lobb in 7th, Luke Page, Adam Fundler, and Brian Bullock rounding out the 10. So, yeah, and it's just a tail away further back, Gowans, Hodgkinson, Zwino had his troubles, Martin Davis had his troubles, Joel and Hansen, Greg Heaney, and Adam Maverick got caught up in, couple of lots of rubbish there, which was unfortunate for him, but yeah, I guess unfortunately he's not a lone soldier with that one tonight, so yeah, very, very unfortunate.
Hey, we've got Travis As a Party joining us for a chat. We've got Andrew Dyson as well. Just a reminder, folks, Indycar coming your way, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Let me go around the grounds. Roosters 4 leads Storm 0. That's not a surprise. We'll lose. Wet track in Sydney, and just the Roosters seem to be a thorn in our side. Sydney on track for a loss at the Sydney Cricket Ground as well. Adelaide leading them 6-5, 41 to 3-2-20 at the moment. Earlier in the evening, the Knights going down to the Sharks, 20 points to 18. Trav As a Party is here. Andrew Dyson is here. A golf update from the British Open as soon as I can load the leaderboard. And Trav, that looked like a world of fun out there. I mean, same can't be said for some of your teammates. They ran into their own fair share of incidents, and they were in the wars a little bit. But from your standpoint, you did everything you could possibly do to maximise the reward of the invert. Obviously, from 10th on the grid up into 1st, you got the invert pole. You only dropped 2 positions in the entire race, and when one of them's to the bloke that's the formidable force of this series right now, you can't be disappointed with that.
No, not at all. This is, well, as we all know, this is my first season of really racing, so I didn't put that much practice into it, but I put enough, and my whole goal was to just try and stay in the vicinity of Dyson. Like, if I was a minute, I'll take it. And I was very lucky to get the inverted pole. I kind of got the opportunity just to walk out a little bit, had a few seconds under my belt, and I was like, oh, please, let me pop out just behind him. And yeah, when I did my pit stop, Dyson was his big beautiful car was right in front of me, and I was like, yep, I'm in a good spot. And then I made a little mistake and put 2 wheels out, and Brandon Grosh came through and got second, and then me and him basically stayed together for the last bit of the race. But as the series runner, I just want to say huge thank you to everyone for showing up and giving these cars love. I truly love the V12 and the massive V8, and I'm excited to see more V12s, aka maybe the Valkyrie next season. Maybe if they bring out some more V12s, that'll be nice.
You do realise you'd have an extra bum in seat on racetrack if he wasn't here in the broadcast booth with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, he would.
Yeah, I'm very blessed for everyone coming out, and especially last season with GEC, that was I think a huge success, and I loved it, and I truly wish it was a broadcast for it. But you know what, we'll do Enduro again, and hopefully we have the handsome Joe and handsome Zach doing the broadcast.
Yeah. Oh, look,
we both got heads for radio, right, Zach?
Yeah, I was going to say my latest refer a friend to Specsavers ticket is coming your way. But in saying that, I would have been here, but I was missing my colleague on the other side of the nullarbor who was in the middle of playing Unpack the House and set it all back up again. So
yeah, that's right.
So we were a little bit hamstrung on the resources front, mate. But yes, no, it was very well received, and GT1's always been a favourite among many. We had a great first season back in the campaign. I think Joe and I actually broadcast one of those races together on a Saturday afternoon because he wasn't able to do the Friday night. So to be able to bring GT1 back into the primetime slot has been fun. Actually, no, sorry, that was GTE. So we've gone GTE, GEC, and now GT1. So we're getting our fair share of GT workout on a Friday night. From your standpoint, mate, I mean, you talk about it being series admin, but it must be nice to be able to put the tools down and not have to worry about the admin side of it while you're out on the racetrack and not have to sit in race control for it either.
Oh, 100%. You know, last season I think I was north of 35 sessions of race control, or 30, 30 something, and I just didn't race. And I said this season I need to do my absolute best to try and get every single RC slot filled, and so far we've been very successful. I saw in the chat a lot of netcode, so I'm probably going to stick my nose in the booth a little bit and have a look at some of these netcodes, because from what I just saw from Thorn, that there was like cars width and massive moments of netcode, and I'm going to have a little sneaky peek myself. But yeah, it is really nice to not have to do as much race control live. At least Saturdays are still my post-race and stewarding session, but you know what, to rock up on a Friday after a long week and just sit in the rig is just it's luxury, is what it is.
Now, I'll tell you from my point of view, and I even said it during the race, the netcode's probably the worst I've seen it in 10 years. These cars, guys were 2 feet apart and getting locked up and turned across noses. Like I wouldn't want to be in race control trying to pick that apart. Generally, we've always said, like in the way we've done it is, if there's netcode but there would have been contact anyway, you still cop the penalty. But when cars are like half a car width apart and there's contact and people just get turned across noses and stuff, you can't point the finger at anybody. And we've seen that on probably 3 or 4 occasions tonight. Zach was, no business being any contact whatsoever, and guys were getting pitched into the fence. And I think the worst guy for that one was Dylan
Walker got
Dylan Walker,
yeah.
So he copped the worst of it. So go and watch his race, mate, and you'll see exactly how bad the netcode was.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It almost felt like we'd gone back in time, which our Queensland audience can very much look forward to in about 2.5 months from now. Sorry to get that cheap shot in so early in the evening.
Wow. Yeah, wow.
We're waiting for it.
Yeah. But it was almost like we got that, because this was something that we spoke about, years ago when the club first started, and we were getting our heads around this whole new universe for most of us that had nothing to do with sim racing before the onset of the pandemic, right? And we had to learn and work our way through and work with and around netcode. And it was something that they'd started to sort out and get on top of. You're never going to foolproof it, boys, but yeah, it was particularly off the chart bad tonight. There was no doubt about that. It was shades of old. So hopefully, whatever they've done at iRacing's end, they can go back and undo. It may require a little bit more. See, that's the thing. The TLC at the moment, they've had to go back in and quickly hurry through some patch updates as part of bigger updates and releases to fix bugs that have arisen as a result of the updates. So it turns out that you are fixing and improving and reinventing the wheel, but something else is coming unstuck as you do it. So maybe they just need to reboot the whole thing, build a whole new motor for it, take the engine out, righto, put it out the pasture, you've done your service, bring a new one in. I'm not sure. There's something fishy going on at the moment.
There is one in the works, a new engine.
Which is good, which is very good. Now, with regards to you, Trav, I mean, obviously, it's not lost on anybody how much you love these things. How are you feeling about next week? And, I mean, another circuit that's narrow in terms of the bitumen width. It's a little bit fast and flowing. It's one that's got lots of runoff area, but you pay the price if you come unstuck. I'm, of course, talking about Donington Park.
Absolutely, yeah. So the whole mindset behind the schedule was we started with America and we finished with Britain, and in between we did fortnights of each continent. So obviously this week was a sprint around Brands Hatch. Next week is a longer format. I forgot the track, but you just said it. But that track, and then we jump Donington. Yep, and then we jump back across the continent and do the same, and we do that throughout the whole season. So I'm excited. I was very, there's luckily a lot of tracks on the British and American side to pick from, but I wanted to pick stuff that was, minimal mistakes can have major effects. Like you said, Donington, get one wheel out and it's, you've lost a lot of time. So yeah, I was really aiming for technical and, really hard to pass tracks is really what I was going for, to be honest.
And this is the thing, right? You talk about paying a price. You did tonight if you had to make an extra pit stop, if you get caught up in an incident at any point, because Well, Daiso's not making any mistakes. He's out in a different postcode and saying, catch me if you can. But behind him, mate, you've got a smorgasbord of guys. You've got everyone's running around at their own pace. It spreads out pretty quickly. It can be very difficult to reel in any deficit once one's acquired by virtue of your own mistake or getting caught up in somebody's incident or having to make an unscheduled pit stop, any of the above. So that's a hefty price you pay if you do put a foot wrong in any way, shape or form, because you've got barely any time at your disposal to redeem any of that ground. So quicker these races run and won.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a real unforgiving track, especially tonight, and next week will be the same as well. And it's people like Daiso who have the ability to have such a small, standard deviation of their laps that, that's where the winning came from. Like I pitted 4 or 5 seconds ahead of P2. I don't think Daiso was even in top 8 or top 9 at that moment. And when I popped out the pits, he was ahead of me just because he was just so consistent. So yeah, it's 100%. I think it's, I like series that are, I do love tight racing as much as anyone, but I also like technical racing, if that sort of makes sense.
Yes, no, it makes perfect sense. What's next on your racing radar, please? Obviously, we'll see you in the car next week, but race control before that, no doubt.
Yeah, so race controls on Saturdays, and I try and give the stewards a hand, or if I have to go through replays or people's messages or anything like that, I can do that on Saturday. But I'm racing Monday and Fridays, the 3.5s and the GT3s, which I've never done GT3s before, so this has been interesting as well.
The interesting thing out of all of that too, just before we hear from Daiso, and we'll let you go. Speaking of race control and stewards and reviewing the tape, have you finally got through Formula V from Adelaide?
Oh, yeah. I think there was about 4 people who went through the V replay, and I think if I had to put a number on it, I'd probably say definitely north of 10 hours of work has gone into that replay. So, and there's a man in here as well who has done probably about 3 of it. So, it was definitely a high workload race, but you know what? It's keeps us on our toes, and that's why we're paid the small bucks,
Indeed. All right, very nicely done, mate. Hey, thanks for stopping on by to have a chat. We are standing by for the Indy cars. We've got Daiso to get to. I'll let you go. Who do you want to thank?
I just want to thank my, WBR. I wanted to thank the whole committee for giving me enough support to actually come back and do racing. That's probably been the biggest help, is just having people like Josh and Greg and, Paul Woods say, hey, yeah, go racing. We'll try and help you and fill slots with RC. So, no, it's been incredible. And a huge thank you to Dyson as well. You are an animal.
He's 3 from 3. That's what he is doing at the moment. He's carving up on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Thank you, Trav. Nice to catch up, mate.
Take it easy, boys.
And yes, he's just in his own universe at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's Daiso's world, and we're just living in it. From a commentary standpoint, it's a pleasure to watch him do what he does. Although, Daiso, you made a little bit of extra work for yourself there in race 1 because the tyres were just a little bit too cold on you when you arrived at turn 1, and that allowed Adam Funslow to just get his nose in front for a little bit of that piece.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he got in front, but I was expecting Dylan to get in front, but the next thing you know, I saw a car flying across the road in my mirror. But yeah, I was way too hot into there. My tyres are feeling well inflated as far as I'm feeling right now because of all the crap you guys are talking. But they were definitely not well inflated when I got to turn 1, I can tell you, because I thought I was crashing the whole way down the hill. But hung on, it was good.
That was the, obviously, there's a period of time where you've got to get them up to temperature. So exactly how long does that take? And then secondly, how much tyre wear, does tyre wear, I should say, play a part in these cars? Or was it not as noticeable tonight because the races were shorter?
I reckon it probably takes, by the second lap, your second complete lap, you probably got your tyres up. It's not really a... From there, it's not really a matter of the tyres wearing out. The car's performance comes back so much with the fuel coming out that the tyre wear isn't even really a factor. So the car actually gets faster and faster the whole time. So it's probably a little bit imbalanced, but that may have been the way they were in real life. I don't know. I never watched them, but Yep, just gets faster and faster the less fuel it's got in it, no matter the tyre condition. Although we're not doing very long runs, so that could have a factor in that.
Actually, to be fair, look out. Former El Presidente's just wedged his way into the commentary box as well. We'll get him a comment from him in just a moment, because it was nice to actually see him out there on the racetrack for once. At one point last term, we were starting to refer to him as Harold Holt because he just disappeared off the face of the planet. No one had seen him. He was just rocking and rolling behind the scenes, and now he's out there on the racetrack again. It's good to see. We'll hear from Josh Zuno in just a moment. Daiso, I loved how... I love how realistic Trav was about where the goalposts were. He just didn't want to get obliterated by you. He was happy as long as he was within, I think he said, a minute of you. So he's done exceptionally well. He was only about 20 seconds behind there towards the end of that race. But let's be serious. If he was a minute behind, that's 3/4 of a lap around here. That would have been an extreme thrashing that you would have handed out. But do you look at this series and think, I need to keep coming back, I need to keep ticking the boxes, I need to push myself and see if I can wipe the floor clean and collect the whole slate, the whole sweep of what's on offer here? Can you go on with this run of form you're on at the moment?
Firstly, I think Travis is throwing in a little bit of condiments in the mix there with his comments, because there's no way I'm ever going to finish a minute in front. But I was surprised to come out in first. I mean, I thought I was going to lose some time there. I actually thought I had damage. And I should say real quick, sorry to Adam Laves, because there was a bit of an echo happening in front of us at one point there, and I didn't pick up on it fast enough, and by the time I hit the brake, I was already hitting him. So that was pretty crap, and that felt pretty bad. But yeah, I thought I was going to get held up a bit by pitting, because I thought I had damage. And at one stage there, I think I came up behind Greg Haney, and his car had all the wheels hanging out, and it looked like one of those, you know, like Daytona USA, where the cars get all crashed up and the wheels are hanging out each side, and it just looked like the car's way narrower than what it was. I thought, oh no, I'm going to lose so much time here. But no, I didn't lose that much time. So as much as I would have expected anyway. So yeah, ended up rolling out in front. I also only took 10 litres down. I think most people might have taken 15. So that might have, because you can only take 5 litre increments as far as the fuel goes in this car. So I reckon that might have slowed a few people up. But yeah, as far as the rest of the races go, man, I'll just, like I said last week, I'll show up to as many races as I think are worth doing. So far it's good. There's been a good turnout. I know it's pretty busy for sim races tonight, racing in the most unfortunately acronymed series of all time. But I mean, hopefully we get a few more folks back again next week, and it should be good.
Oh dear. No doubt you are keeping an eye on your teammates in the Sandown 500 as we speak.
No, I wasn't, but I had a bit of a watch earlier. We're having some good lawnmower jokes. It was pretty funny. But in the chat, so shout out to YouTube chat over there. It was good.
Let me just update everybody on that, by the way. They are under safety car at the moment, lap 44 of 161. And I'm keeping an eye on that because for the third year in a row, they've got me teaming up with Scotty and Sam Man for the 1000 in August. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I've had to make myself an apology to my sister's baby shower as a result, but I'm sure she'll forgive me in the long run. I'll be there for the birth of bub number 1. It doesn't matter so much about the baby shower. That's more of a girly thing anyway. Hey, Daiso, just one last comment from you, mate. Brands Hatch versus Sebring, very, very different racetracks, and yet you've been able to tame and master both.
They are very different racetracks, but I ran the same setup, so the car felt pretty much the same. I mean, the track feels way different because it's not flat like Sebring is, so you get some weird handling stuff. But I guess because it's the same setup, you can sort of adjust to the track more so than the car that way. That's how I was thinking of it anyway, and it worked out pretty good.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Great to catch up with you. We look forward to seeing you on track next week. Who would you like to thank?
Just thank to you guys for doing this. Thanks to all the rest of the folks behind the club, as always, and a few new folks there now as well, I'm aware, so that's great. And yeah, shout out to all the DPR folks. Shout out to Darren Lobb. He tried talking to us tonight plenty of times, but we've been joking about how we basically can't hear him because we reckon he's like that album cover. He's on the other side of the moon, that Pink Floyd album cover. So every time he tried to speak, he No comprendo. You couldn't hear a thing he was saying. It was grouse. So shout out Darren. Hope you're listening. And yeah, thanks to you guys again.
We wish him the very best of luck. Oh no, there's crashes in practice for the Indycars. Qualifying about to start there from Nashville. We'll get to that in a moment. Hey, Daiso, thank you, mate. Well done again. The post-race interview from last Wednesday is still my clubhouse leader for the moment of the season so far, but we'll work on that. Well done again. We look forward to seeing you next Friday night.
Cool. See you, boys.
Brilliant stuff. And Josh Zuno, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he's in here as not El Presidente, not whacking anyone over the knuckles. He's in here as a racer for the first time in Christ knows how long, Josh. How was it to get back out there, mate?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I was actually disappointed Joe swapped over to this so early because I felt like I was studying some lines there when I was watching Daiso. I didn't know which way was up, down, left or right, to be honest with you, Zach, but I got out there, had a bash, and it was a bit of fun. I got my voice back today, so I thought, stuff it. I can breathe. I haven't needed to sleep an extra 4 hours.
Apologies to Lauren.
Yes, apologies, Lauren. No, it was great.
Hey, just quickly too, boys, looks like about 25 on the grid here for the IndyCar, so we're very excited about another competitive, bursting at the seams size field for this round of the Disruptive Labs Rd-2 Indy series. But it's interesting, isn't it, right? Because poor old Greg Heaney feels as though you've just, when you've handed the baton over to him, he feels as though that's come with a red target that's just been planted onto his race car. Although that being said, how much less pressure do you feel when you go out there on the racetrack now?
I feel great, honestly. I made a joke, which was kind of not a joke, that when my wife got in, when we were doing the AGM, she actually brought a cake, and I was like, "Is now the time to tell you, Greg, that I'm celebrating?" No, I mean, Greg's going to do a great job, and I'm sure he'll manage to fend off the demons that have got some targets on his back at the moment. I believe Joel and Thorne are both in agreement that people are giving them free passes now that they're wearing committee badges. So I don't know which way the side of that one lands, but yeah, Greg will be right.
They just want to stay out of harm's way and not wear the RAF. I like it. That's a good plan of attack. Hey, from your standpoint, what do you make of the GT1 firstly? And secondly, I think it's a good time to just remind you that there's no point studying Daiso's lines for Brands Hatch tonight because we're at Donington next week.
Yeah, believe it or not, Zach, that was my first ever race around Brands, so it was very much worth studying his lines for next time.
And you were running fourth at one stage in race one.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't crash too bad, but the whole time I was in the WBR boys' ears going, how do I do 4? How do I do 4? I had no idea, legitimately no idea. Only came race 2 that I was like, oh, everyone's off the brakes and they're just rolling through it. So anyway, the more you know.
So Jordan Pianazola just alerting our attention to the fact that he's going to rock and roll with us in the IndyCar for the balance of the season. So there must obviously be some sort of extenuating circumstance preventing him from being there tonight. But he's in the chat thread and he's welcome anytime. And he'll be in the booth on a few Wednesday nights with the BMWs as the season goes on as well, due to my conflicting commitments. Big night of sim racing, of course, with the Supercar Sandown 500 for the Logitech G Pro Invitational Series with our colleagues over at the Australian Sim Racing Group. But our focus is on open wheels for the next short while. Josh, is the GT1 going to be your regular commitment from a driving standpoint for the balance of the season, or are you just going to jump wherever you can when the circumstances and time constraints that obviously come with being as busy as you are in the real world allow you to do so?
I have put aside Friday nights, and I really wish I could be doing the IndyCar tonight, but I'm not lying when every possible thing that could be infected in my body is infected at the moment. I'm on some hardcore meds because I've got to try and fly on Tuesday, and yesterday I could barely walk, so unfortunately IndyCar was beyond me. But yeah, I'll be here as many Fridays as I can, excluding next week because I will be overseas and I'm not doing a chapo.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't blame you. No one should be allowed to do a chapo after Chapo did a chapo. No one should be permitted to bring a remote control with them into the GSRC servers ever again. Oh, my goodness gracious me. There are still some people recovering from that. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Good luck with the recovery. Good luck with the travels. We'll see you for week 4.
Sounds good, Zach. I'll see you later.
There he is. He's sounding a lot better than what he did the other day. There's no doubt about that. But still, you can tell he's a bit croaky. So, hardcore meds. He lives in the Gold Coast part of the world. So, I mean, they're probably readily accessible. Let's have a look at the championship points, Joe. Firstly, the track map. The fly in via Google Earth onto Nashville, Tennessee. The country music capital of the United States. We talk about this being the Music City Grand Prix when Indycar rolls into town. The real world Indycar Monday morning. Now, that's a floating fixture because we might end up having the start delayed depending upon what happens with the FIFA World Cup. They are intending to start at about 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, but the World Cup final that at earliest doesn't finish until 7:15 because they've got an extra 15 minutes of halftime for that halftime Super Bowl inspired halftime show. So there's a lot going on there on Monday morning. I dare say the IndyCar race gets pushed back a little bit, but it will be live on Stan Sports straight after the FIFA World Cup final from this part of the world. So here's your curtain raiser. Here's your appetizer to Monday morning. At the same time, NASCAR on Fox Sports will be at North Wilkesboro, where they'll barely get out of second gear. Ethan Morris was brilliant last week, wasn't he? 110 points, leads Tom Donohue 103, Alex Tzickas 97, Ryan Barber 84, Eric Fenson, and Adam Lavis also on 84 points make up the top 6. The grid, they're lining up on pit exit, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be on the back of a very frantic qualifying session. There's the circuit, 2.09 kilometres, so I think that equates to 1 1/3 miles in the old scale. It's not quite a mile and a half. That would be 2.4. So, yeah, I think it's 1 1/3. And 25 degrees 27 degrees the current track temp, 25 the ambient. Those winds are tending southerly and they're swinging back southeasterly and southwesterly at the moment. So the wind hasn't yet made up its mind. 4 kilometre an hour, 5 kilometre an hour winds, 8:30 local server time, 78% humidity and dry conditions so far, thankfully, because it is an oval. Grid, Ethan Morris and Stephen Bull front row. Christ, Stephen Bull will be hoping for a better run this week, fair dinkum. He couldn't take a trick last week. Tom Pritchard, Tom Donohue, second row. Alex Tzickas, Dave Oliver, third row. Eric Fenson and Brooklyn Breton, fourth row. Drew Collins and Joe De La Rosa from 5. From 6, it's Matt Schmidtke and Tristan McLaren. From 7, Aidan Cale and Luke Brooker. From 8, Edward Rollo and Joel and Henson. It's surprising to see Aidan Cale outside the top 10. I'm just going to say that much. Watch him move through the field, though, if he can, throughout the course of the next 130 laps or 65 minutes, whichever comes first. Adam Lavis is starting alongside Luke Page on the 9th row of the grid. Nathan Michael Dane Snadden from 10. Big representation from Whiskey Business Racing tonight. Thorn Weggett and Martin Davis from 11. Eduardo Zamora, Andrew Neal from 12. And Greg Heaney rounds out this field. So, essentially, Trucker, for G. Heaney, El Presidente, the only way is up.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be a very, very intense race. The super, like they call it a super speedway, but it's probably on the smaller scale for a super speedway. Like but these things high downforce, high horsepower, wide open, pretty much all the way around, unless you want to look after your tyres. This is going to be, I think, one of the points tonight is going to be tyre management and keeping them within a temperature window. Not so much for the first 10 or 15 laps on any particular tyre run, but it's going to be later on in the run. So one of the guys who's been brilliant at that in previous seasons is Stephen Bull. Now we all know how Morris did last week, but keep your eye on Stephen Bull. He dominated the oval side of things the last time we did IndyCar.
Races tonight as you come back to live. Jordan Pianozola, 65 minutes or 130 laps, whichever comes first. Round 2 of the championship is underway. Disruptive loves Rd-2 Indy from Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful start from Morris, picking up exactly where he left off last week. He was clinical and dominant at St. Petersburg in Florida, and we were reliably informed by he and Tom Donahue on the post-race show last week that he's even better, by his own admission, on ovals. So that sent shockwaves through the paddock because he smashed them last week, and he's the form favourite again to carve up here in Nashville tonight. Through they go. Lap 2, Stephen Bull chases Tom Donahue, Alex Zizikas, Tom Pritchard and Eric Fenton, the top 5. And there's a few guys that are looking to fight their way back, Joe, after some disappointing results last week. Good to see everybody safely through the first 2 laps and minding their own business thus far.
Really clean start to begin with, which is great to see. The guys, you know, at this point of the race, a long way to go, right? Long way to go. Let me go like that so we can actually see.
There we go.
And I'm going to put that onto laps. So we got 130, a long way to go at the moment. So just managing the tyres, managing your fuel, staying out of dirty air, keeping it off the wall. You know, it doesn't matter where you run inside the top 25 at this point of the race. No. You've just got to be there, as Jordan said. You're 65 minutes of making a left turn, as Bubba would like to say, if anybody knows Jeff Dunham. You know, and it's simple in outright terms, yet it's so nuanced to be able to turn left for 65 minutes without dying.
Correct. We will see someone trip up at some point tonight. Now, I'm not sure. I'm assuming that Liam Haycock has full control as to when cautions are deployed. Just how many of them we're going to get, because the old rules, and I'm not sure if they've been changed, would be that we'd have 1 competition caution on road courses. We had that last week, and up to 3 on ovals, just because the high percentage, the high likelihood, the chance of an incident was much further through the roof than what it was on road courses, and they're much more common. So if we have to clean it up at any point tonight because of a big one, then so be it. Race control can exercise that discretion, as long as they don't sell us short for time with regards to laps. Here we are at the end of lap 7, 2 minutes 50 gone as they make their way around out of the main straight. Have a look at it. It's getting dicey, isn't it? Have a look at this, down into no man's land. Oh,
dicey or very spicy, one or the other. Aidan Cale's trying to make his way through, but it's not been easy. 3 positions up. Tristan McLaren's made up 4 positions to start with, so he's got a clean pair of heels. He's in Drew Collins's draft there at the moment.
And the Chilean, Eduardo Zamora, I think I'm right in saying Chilean. I'm just looking at the flag. I'm pretty sure we've discussed that before. He's up 5 spots, Joe, down in 18th spot. +4 for Tristan McLaren, +3 for Aidan Cale, as you mentioned, +3 for Alex Zizikas and Eric Fenton at the front of the field, and they are keeping Ethan Morris rather honest at the moment. But what sort of games are they playing already? What sort of racecraft is on show here? Who's fuel saving? Who's sandbagging?
I think you're describing Stephen Bull's race at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's sitting down there in 5th, just patiently minding his own business and going about it in his own way, isn't he? So, and by the way, have a look at the fact that it's still not quite 100% dark sky to the outside of the circuit there, ladies and gentlemen. Nice orange tinge to that at the moment. Hello, Queensland. That's what daylight saving brings with it.
And for anybody...
That's 2. That's 2 references. Look at me go.
And for anybody who listens to AHU, they'll be familiar with this. Mic check. And no, it's not an alcoholic fun drink. It's just a normal old solo. It's not even hard solo.
No, I must admit, I'm not even on the spicy colas tonight, Joe. I've got the Golden Circle lime flavoured cordial, the mix-up. Gangbusters at the moment. I'm trying to increase my water intake, but water on its own is just a bit too stale for my liking.
Yeah, no, I don't drink water. I'm not a fish.
No. Aiden Kale now up to 5th, up 8 spots. So he's all of a sudden decided to pull the trigger and go. And now his next target is Tristan McLaren. And Alex Tzikis is going to the lead on the inside of Ethan Morris. Tzikis and Morris side by side down the back straight. So all of a sudden the gloves are off here in Nashville. We're right on board with Tristan McLaren and Tom Donahue. Look at McLaren up on the outside. He'll have Kale on the inside, I'm sure. There they go. 3 wide to 1.
Now, look, we may not be based in oval racing in Australia, but try and tell me that this doesn't stand the hairs up on the back of your neck. This is great. Awesome, respectful racing, yet very close and fierce at the same time. There's been no contact. We're what are we, 15 laps in? The guys all pretty much qualified within 4/10 of each other, and look at the racing they're putting on. This is fantastic stuff tonight.
It's madness. This is shades of that Indy Pro race we had at Worldwide Technology Raceway, Illinois.
Oh, yeah. And going back in the vault there, but we've had some great oval races. It actually upsets me a little bit. I would love to be in the midst with this crowd. I love this stuff.
He just needs to find a producer and director to take his spot, cover him on a Friday night. Not everybody's so willing to pick up the freight on a Friday night, Joe.
Not on a Friday night, they're not. No, I can't imagine why.
No, it wouldn't have anything to do with the smallest sport of sport that's currently on. No, not at all. Hey, 6.5 minutes gone, and we are on lap 17 already. Awesome stuff. Primary tyres fitted to all the cars here at the moment. I'm not sure if they have the alternate tyre rule on the ovals. I don't think
single tyre.
So just the one compound. So we don't have to. That's one component that we don't have to worry about. Hey, Jordan Pianazola, appreciated your humour. He's rolled that one out before, Jordan, on a few occasions over the years. Ethan Morris, Aiden Kale, Alex Tzikis and Tristan McLaren. My favourite one with that is whenever I have a health setback or whatever and I have to down a bottle of water or 1.5 litres or whatever it is, the offering that I need, and occasionally in commentary, someone will look at me and say, "Are you feeling all right?" Yeah, I'm learning about this thing called H2O. Apparently it's good for you. I'm not so convinced.
No.
Ethan Morris, Aiden Kale, Alex Tzikis and Tristan McLaren. Tzikis is having a breakout season, isn't he? Kale's got up 11 spots already to second. What an opening stint this has been from Aiden Kale. You can see why this has got a reputation as being a super speedway for the Indycars, because they won't race this closely even when we get to Indianapolis. This is shades of somewhere like Texas or Daytona or Talladega or Atlanta. And I think if we were to have more oval racing like this, Joe, to promote to the Australian audience, this is the sort of oval racing that we could get around. There are some Mickey Mouse tedious ovals that they run with that, it just becomes stale and boring, and it's a cure for insomnia, right?
Who was that around the top? Brooklyn Braden was just running the whole line around the top there. That Angel's fear the tread up around there at Nashville, but he's making it work. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Tom Pritchard.
First bit of the night.
But thankfully it was very, very minor. Never got him out of control, because one thing on a track like this, when there is contact and someone gets out of control, you guarantee you're going to ruin 5 or 6 people's races. Like, it just happens so fast. And if you bounce off the wall, in the time it takes you to cross the track, you're going to involve a bunch of people. So, but what we do have at the moment is 2 very distinct races. So, Dave Oliver, he's on the back of this lead group. So, your top 14 guys. And then in 15th, Luke Page. So, they're 5.5 seconds back. But what this second group is going to run into trouble with, as Thorne Wygett's about to find out, is going a lap down very, very fast.
Indeed. So Thorne's on his own. Greg Heaney and Dane Snadden are under threat, I reckon, very shortly. they run the risk of being the first to go a lap down. They'll have the blue flags flying in their direction any tick of the clock. There they are, just crossing the start-finish line now. Across the line we go to complete lap 24. We start lap 25. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm looking at here at this point, Joe, right? So we've gone 9 minutes and 56 seconds. We have completed, this is the end of 25 laps. So 5 25s are 125. That's 50 minutes of full flying flat running. You're not going to need the 105 minutes unless you start taking pit stops into consideration, unless you slow the field down more than once for a caution. We are going to make this well and truly on time should things stay as they are. Ethan Morris leads on lap 26, but that brings with it the second question. Is this going to be a 3-stop race or is this going to be a 4-stop race? So where is that first fuel window going to creep into the narrative? And then we can start doing some mathematical number crunching from there. Not our strong point, obviously, as we've detailed before, but we'll try our best.
So one of the things I probably should have done a bit of homework, but I like being in the dark a little bit, is I don't want to know what the fuel number is. Now, I want to learn at the same rate as the audience. Otherwise,
I feel exactly the same way about when the competition cautions.
The competition cautions, that's right. I mean, I could go to RC, as part of the admin team and find it, give me a number, let me know. But I don't want to know that, so I want to be surprised, and as much as everybody else is. And with the numbers as well, like you can learn a lot by seeing when the first guy. So out of this field, at the moment, I would keep an eye on Aiden Cale. I think if anybody was going to be burning the most amount of fuel, would be Aiden Cale, because at this point now he's up 11 spots, so he's really been hustling to get himself up the front. And you might have noticed he hasn't passed Ethan Morris. Do I think that he's got the ability to? Absolutely. Do I think he wants to? No. Not at all. No. He'll be sitting there now and he will have turned it down. Oh, we got an incident, Eduardo Zamora.
That's unfortunate for Eduardo. He's now on the toe rope. Oh, big one. Jolyn Hansen's gone with him to pit lane. But Zamora on the tow rope for the first time tonight. Now, if we didn't have manual control of safety car deployment, that would have been your first one of the night, ladies and gentlemen. So Jolyn Hansen, let's have a look at it from his standpoint. He got caught up in this because Zamora's gone down. And Zamora's moved down on the car and he's inside, and I didn't get a red Joe on that.
That was... Sure who that was.
As he skid up into the wall.
Yeah.
Jolyn's been caught up as collateral. Now look at Aiden Cale. Look at Aiden Cale run over the tail of Ethan Morris. Just getting a tow along. Letting Morris do all the heavy lifting. And Aiden's there for the free ride. Lap 32 has come and gone. Morris, Cale, Tzidakis, Donahue. So two of the regular protagonists from last week's final stint at St. Pete, plus a star on the rise in Alex Tzidakis, plus Aiden Cale, who was unlucky last week but had the pace to run with them, and is showing why we say that in the early part of tonight's race, as we see pit lane activity for Luke Page and also for Stephen Bull and Brooklyn Bredden. Joe, we're in the window.
We're definitely in the window. Thorn Wygert had an incident. Ah, no. Oh, he's coming to the pit and he's hit that apron.
That's awkward.
One of the things that was discussed during the week, everybody must pit off of turn 3. As here comes your leaders: Ethan Morris, Aiden Cale, Alex Tzidakis.
And they have got to pit lane before Stephen Bull, Brooklyn Bredden and Drew Collins have even left. So if you don't time your run well or you get an invoice here, you could go down a lap.
3-stop
in
race.
This part of the race. Absolutely, yeah.
So 35, 70, 105 leaves you 10 laps spare either side of that number. So
it's interesting because the earliest was 33 for Stephen Bull. So 333s are 99, which leaves you 31.
Yeah.
So it's a 2, 3 or 4 lap swing either way, depending upon which way you're going at the moment. And that could change, obviously, with the competition caution as well.
And knowing RC, it'll probably come out in about 2 laps, which will really throw a stick amongst the pigeons.
Absolutely. So if you've gone, and these guys have gone at the end of lap 35, so 33, 34, 35, 34, 68, 102, which leaves you with 28. So again, you've got a little bit of leeway there. That's fine. And if you want to go the 35, then 105, and it's only a 25 lap run to the checkered flag. But you're right, you've got that 10 lap leeway. So some of these guys are playing with a little bit more leverage than others this early in the race. Matt Schmidtke will be the last to pit lane. So Schmidtke's gone further on this first run than anybody else. He gets to the end of lap 38.
And he's right. The transition between the track and the apron isn't that steep. But when you make the transition from the track down to the apron at that point of the track, you're hard on the brakes. And as soon as you put your left wheel over, you've got a contact patch about 2 inches wide on the left-hand front. Instant lock, comes down, round you go. You got to get down onto the apron completely, halfway down the back straight, and then hit the brakes. That is a lot of numbers, Josh. You're right.
And as I do it, I'm looking around, I'm scrambling, trying to find a pen and a piece of paper, and then I worked out, no, actually, I don't need it, I'm good. Matt Schmidt in the pit lane, comes back out. Sorry, I just made myself sound real smug, didn't I? I apologise. Ethan Morris, Aidan Cale, Stephen Bull, the top 3 at the moment. And have a look at that, Joe, right? So different stop lap for Morris and Cale, and yet they're separated by a coat of varnish. And Stephen Bull's latched on as well and gone in behind them for 3rd. So he's the beneficiary in all of that. He's gone up 2 spots through that pit lane transit. Alex Tzikis has lost 1. And Dave Oliver back into 6th spot right now. So the only reason I do want the notepad to scribble some numbers here is to work out the critical lap for those respective 3 strategies. So if you are running on the 35, the critical lap is Schmidt's gone.
Oh, what are you doing?
Schmidt's gone. No.
Oh. Schmidt,
Can you believe
should have been
that?
coming out of the pits. Oh, no. So he's entered pit lane. I'm not sure what's happened to Schmitty. Doesn't show anything on my thing where he's going to come back into the race. So Tom Pritchard showing him off track. Oh, he's got the wall. Oh, no, he missed the wall.
Yeah, no, look at this. And it's not just him, but Fenton and Bull and Cale. There's a few involved, Joe. There's been a big one. There has been a big one. Oh,
Aidan
look at this.
Cale was
Caution
our
flies
leader.
in Nashville. That is Aidan Cale stranded.
And we have a
Stephen
yellow.
Bull has been caught up. Let's have a look. Oh, no, there it was. Look at that. It wiped out the 3 of them. It wiped out the 3 of them.
So what had Stephen Bull? So hang on. So it shows Stephen Bull's gone off track. So, he's got the tab there.
Contact. Bang. And everybody's been checked up. Fenton went into Bull, went into Cale.
Trying to work
And
out
then
who
Dave
that
Oliver
was.
taking evasive action. That was okay. In pit
Benson?
lane comes Bull, Cale and Pritchard. And no, Fenson's going to get cleaned up in that. Fenton got cleaned up. So the contact happened down low. So was that Tzikis into Cale? Tzikis into Cale.
Tzikis.
And then Cale's checked up Bull and Fenton. Caution flies.
No, there is a caution. We do have caution at the moment.
Yeah. Caution flies. I caught the yellow before we went to the replays. So. Oh boy. So basically, just going back to put a full stop on what Joe was saying there, with regards to, let's have a look at some more of the replays, and then I'll go back to the calculation.
So the yellow, that's Dave. No, that's not Dave Oliver. Who's in that yellow car?
Tzikis and Morris were the ones that were just involved in this battle. So it was Tzikis. And Morris was clear of all of it. So Morris has got to get out of jail free card and all of that. Yes, it's Tzikis.
Yes, it was.
Bang.
Yeah, so he's giving him the touch up. I'll give him one more look at that. Hang on. So we go.
Let's stay on board with Tzikis. Down low.
He's taking an understeer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not in RC, but that looked to be like on Tzikis, I think. Looked like he picked up a bit of an understeer mid-corner. And
down the pit lane.
Unfortunately, there was contact.
Eric Fence and Dave Oliver come in, but this is the point, right? So the caution's thrown just as everybody's completed that first round of pit stop. So unless you need to repair damage, you're not coming in right now. You're staying out there. You're capitalising on track position and taking full advantage of the carnage that is ensued, that has wiped out 3 contenders, one of whom is standing by. Hello, Stephen Bull. You can't catch a break this season.
Yeah, did not go my way tonight.
Are you done?
No, I'll get back on track. I've towed, and sort of in hindsight, I thought, oh, you know, it probably would have been quicker to limp it around on 3 wheels, and I thought, oh, you know, I should have just pulled into the box and taken the unsafe entry, but you know, tried to avoid that, and the tow's about 4 minutes, so I'm going to lose a few laps here, but I'll jump back out, install the mic in the helmet, so bit of on-track commentary.
It's really unlucky, mate, in the sense that there's just nothing you could have done in that situation because the contact happened with Alex Tzikis, and then from there it was just a knock-on effect. Kale into you, into Fenton, everybody just got checked up, nowhere to go.
Yeah, especially because we're all trying to keep it super tight and just save as much fuel as possible. And you know, when something happens at 300k an hour and you got about a wheel width between each other, there's nothing you can do.
No, that's exactly right, mate. That's it's really unfortunate for you. I mean, it was frantic and it looked like a world of fun while it lasted. Everybody racing around, shades of worldwide technology last year in the Indy Pro cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was a few moments I had contact. I managed to save a pretty wild one earlier on there. So yeah, it's been heaps of fun.
And as Josh Gino has already pointed out, it's worth getting back out there to try and complete 75% race distance. So, and that's the other calculation I got to do tonight. So 27, 28, 27. No, it's 32, 64, 65. So 33. You probably got to complete about 98 laps tonight to get 75%. In all of that, and have we got some waiver rounds going on here, Joe? Have you got
I think what's happened, and I'm sure I'm sure Steve will be able to tell us, but it looks to me like Brooklyn Braden and Joe Della Rosa have been somehow through iRacing's yellow system have jumped a lap ahead. So those two guys look like they're a lap ahead of like Ethan, Alex, Tom. Yeah, it's Correct. There's an issue there. The best thing those guys can do is go through the pits. Oh, so they're stopping on track.
Yeah, it's an easy one. I think I've done it a couple of times in GSRC on the oval round. When you know, when you're not used to ovals, you hear the safety car and you sort of just, you know, you breathe off the throttle and that, and all of a sudden he's in your mirrors. So yeah, it's you got to be sort of on it.
So 75% is 98 laps. We can confirm that.
Yeah, so these guys, they're pulling up. So sorry to interrupt there. So the rest of the field should come around, and iRacing will be telling them to go. But what they can do is just start, and then race control will clear all blacks. So that should even everything out. Like get them guys back on. Like gets not these guys onto the lead lap. Gets everybody else back onto the lead lap where they should have been to start with. It's one of those difficult quirks with the iRacing yellow system. It's not perfect, and sometimes we have stuff like this, and otherwise these two guys are going to end up that whole lap ahead of everybody, and it makes for a pretty boring race across the field. Now they're going down the lap. Unless they're meant to be at the back, are they, Steve? What's the call by race control?
It'll probably be an end-of-line penalty, I would imagine. Just so that they can correct the order. Yeah, good one, Jordan. I'll come back to my number crunching in just a moment. But Joe De La Rosa is going to be allowed to. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is really bizarre. So they're going to be allowed to reclaim their position in the order as it was
behind the safety car.
Yeah, at the conclusion of the first stint, where they were when the safety car was deployed. Safety car's been redeployed, so we're losing a lot of time here as they sort themselves out. Oh, my goodness me.
So
Morris, Tzidakis, and at the moment, Breton's showing third. Donahue, Brooker, De La Rosa's going up into fifth. This is madness. I don't know what's going on.
iRacing doing iRacing things. Adam's really clever. He'll be on the fly so he'll be in sim. Schmicky'd be in there as well. I would say trying to help these guys unpack exactly where the problem is to get them back where they should be and get them going. At the end of the day, too, it's still very, very early in the race, so they'll be able to go green and unpick it as we go.
26 minutes gone and 50 laps gone. So 80 to go, this time by the line. Ethan Morris leads Alex Tzidakis, Brooklyn Breton and Joe De La Rosa. 75% marker is 98 laps, so even though Stephen Bull, who's still with us in commentary, commentating from the cockpit, is showing 3 laps down at the moment, he will be okay for classification and points. And Aidan Carl will be chasing him through as well. Eduardo Zamora, the only retirement of the night so far. Ethan Morris leads. So this has fallen beautifully into his lap. Controlled the race through the first stint, withstood the pressure of Aidan Carl towards the back end of the stint, and then managed to, by way of just being one position ahead. Now Alex Tzidakis gets a 10-point penalty. A 10-point penalty for the contact that caused that incident. With Aidan Carl, who then got unsettled. Sorry, drive-through, you're saying? It's saying minus 10-point penalty on our screen.
I'm saying he didn't get a drive-through for that.
Yeah. That surprises you, does it?
Surprises me, it does. Yeah, I've got to say that surprises me. I would have thought a drive-through would be a minimum penalty for that one.
Well, considering that the initial contact then obviously set off the concertina, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by that as well. But Liam Haycock is adjudicating this one in race control for us this evening. So I'm sure he'll be able to tell us exactly why that penalty has been handed down. A 10-point penalty at the end of the night applied to his points allocation this evening.
At the end of the day,
Brooklyn Breton and Joe De La Rosa are side by side here, Joe. Trucker, I'll come back to you. Tzidakis on the outside of Morris and De La Rosa on the inside of Breton. And Donahue's in this as well. So Donahue really the only one that didn't get implicated earlier in that incident. He got lucky. Tzidakis got into the side of Bull, got into the side of course, Aidan Cale. But Tommy Donahue got away scot-free. He gets a free crack here at Tzidakis and Morris, but he's got to get through De La Rosa and Breton first. 28.5 minutes gone. We're on lap 56. Fastest lap of the race belongs to Donahue at 23.558. And it's all happening in Nashville. Super underrated racetrack, this one. An absolute beauty.
I had to buy it to be able to broadcast it. But looking at it, I should have bought it a long time ago. It actually races really well. Braden loves that outside run that Brooklyn does. I probably wouldn't be running there at this point in the race, but he's making it work for himself. It's keeping him in the hunt anyway. Oh, we got an incident. Benson. Big one. Massive crash. In the middle of it.
Yep, that'll be caution number 2. Edward Rullo, Adam Lavis all caught up. And Eric Fenton involved in his second major incident of the night. Wrecked in the first one with Stephen Bull and Aidan Cale. And now this time through, he's been turned. Oh, boy. Rollo speared into and slid across the top of Adam Lavis.
I think
And
Martin
they're all heading to pit
Davis,
road.
maybe? I mean, Martin Davis there.
I think you're right. Jordan
Oh,
Piano's
they certainly
also
do.
right. Safety cars breed safety cars. This is number 2. We have a maximum of 3. And no surprise either, boys. Morris, Tzikis, Donahue, De La Rosa, Collins, McLaren, Page, Michael, all jumping for pit lane right now. And if you're Stephen Bull and Tom Pritchard and Aidan Carl, you're staying out there trying to get your lap back. And this actually works beautifully for you, Stephen, trying to find your way back into the race in some way, shape or form.
Yeah, I got 3 to make up, so this will be one of them. I was, you know, you can get about 2 laps if you hang it out one less green flag pit, but I think this has tipped us over the critical lap now, so
Correct.
not expecting any green more. Oh well, should be getting green laps, pits from now on.
We are still expecting this to be a 3-stop race. It's interesting that these guys have dived in at the end of lap 58. Oh, look, they can make it work. It's on the nose. It's a 72-lap run from there. And we were talking about the first round of pit stops being after, at most, lap 33, 34, 35. The fact that they are under caution, Joe, and there's another one possibly coming, that does work for them. But, yes, I didn't have 58 on the bingo card in all of this. But in saying that, you've got to take your opportunities. And as we've already seen tonight, far less of an invoice to be paid for a pit stop completed under safety car than when we're on the green track. And unfortunately, Lavis wasn't able to limp it home.
No, I'd just seen that. I was hoping he'd be able to drive it back, but that, yeah, so he's been stationary for 2 minutes in pit lane now. So, and I think from memory, he had a bit of a rough one last week as well, did he not?
Yes.
So, yeah, it's been a tough start to the season for Mav, who's actually a former champion of the series. As are you too, I believe, Steve. You've had a IndyCar Series championship as well, have you?
Yeah, I think I've got 1, and I've got a mug on my desk with a number 2 on it. We got 1 year. That was great.
Yeah, so 2 former champions been caught up in incidents very, very early in this one, before the halfway mark. That's not a lap. So are you still 2 laps down now, are you, Steve, or have you got it back to 1?
2 laps down. I think I might have spent in pit with my limiter off. We'll see.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I haven't seen any black flag come through yet, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. In the meantime, there's the written-off car of Adam Lavis waiting to be repaired. Very, very unfortunate that he wasn't able to get back under his own steam, had to tow. In come Brooklyn Bredden and Dane Snadden. This will be a long caution, ladies and gentlemen, so bear with us here. Platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. But the issue I've got here, Joe, right, is we saw pit stops on lap 33, 34, 35 in the last stint. We're not going to have that flexibility or leverage this time through because we were 72 laps from home. So if you're not of the fuel conservation type, if you're not one of those guys that can stretch it, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Luke Brooker gets a 10-point penalty for the avoidable contact with Eric Fenton, which set off the chain reaction that's led to the second caution of the night. Safety car boards and flags are about to be rescinded. Lights are out. We're about to rock and roll. But yeah, you're now going to have to be a little bit more friendlier to the fuel tank. You're going to have to try and stretch it out as far as you possibly can if you don't want to be doing a third or an unscheduled 4th pit stop, I should say, ladies and gentlemen, because we're all on track for 3, but if you don't get your numbers right now, because it's so tight, it could be a 4th stop. So this is a fuel save race from here. And we know that there are some that are better on the fuel conservation front than others. Look at the restart up the outside from Ethan Morris, straight by the lap traffic of Luke Brooker. Alex Tzikis slots in to 3rd spot. So that was a blinder of a restart from Morris. Brooker is sitting 2nd at the moment, but I fear he's a sitting duck. He's got that 10-point penalty coming his way, and around the outside goes Donahue. And Tzikis is trying to get through as well. They want to crack at Ethan Morris, but they need to get by Brooker quickly. A clean restart, however. Good to see. We ride on board with Luke Payne.
No fuel saving from Page. He's in 5th. If he was going to be saving fuel, he'd be in 6th right now.
Yep. So that's a compelling part of the narrative now, Joe. How long these cautions go, firstly, because we've just restarted on... The restart lap was lap 63, so that left us with 68 laps to go. So maybe if you've been able to, you know, save relentlessly under that safety car, maybe you've got one more stop. But if you cannot save the juice, if you cannot stretch the tank, then you're a little bit of strife here. Let's wait and see. We don't know if or when that safety car is going to fall for the third time either, Joe.
That's right. Morris was just in 4th, I was looking, so he's not worried about fuel whatsoever. He's going for it. But Alex Tzikis, he's all over him like a cheap suit. He's not... he wants to go for the lead. Round the outside, keep the momentum up. Catch the draft. And up the inside, down the back straight.
Beautiful. Now
there
does
we
Morris
go.
want to
That's
let
how
him
it's
lead? Morris will let him lead. Morris will happily cede position for the moment and let him take up front running. He pulls back up alongside him on the outside now. Gets his nose back in front. Uses this small amount of slipstream opportunity to his full advantage here. Have a look at this. Page and McLaren and De La Rosa and Collins have latched on. An 8-car fight at the front. Barely separable.
Frantic stuff. We're only just past the halfway mark at this point.
Preservation was the other fuel word I was looking for, Joe. I just couldn't reach out and grab it. I was in the right area with Vation, but I just couldn't get the right... I wonder how many drivers realise at this point it's a game of fuel. Adam Lavis will be right across that, but he's also out of contention. Matty Schmidtke will be all over that like a cheap suit, but also he's fighting back from his own incident earlier in the piece. Not everyone uses overlays and some don't use the fuel calcs. That's exactly right. By your own admission, you're not the world's most mathematically inclined, Jordan. So there'll be a few blokes in the same boat as you, I'm sure. But then again, if you are aware of it and you've got someone in your team that isn't, and you are in Discord chat with them, you're passing that message on at the moment.
I'm going to call it right now. The guy in the box seat to win this race is Brooklyn Braden. So from where he pitted on lap 61, 61, 62, 61? 60. With a couple of yellow laps in there. 35 laps, by my reckoning, gets him to 130 with one more stop. So if he can do 35, he'll make it home. There is still another yellow to go, but he won't have to pit. And if it comes before lap 92, he'll still only have to make one more stop.
It's going to
be... we're talking Mad Max level of fuel saving, right?
Exactly.
Leave the supercharger turned off. Look at these guys are still tied up the front. There's only about a second covering the top 10 at the moment.
They're on the mega edge at the moment. This is fantastic. They are leaving nothing on the table here. It's terrific stuff. We can show you some onboard footage at some point here, folks, just to show you how close and tight-knit this is. And I'm sure we'll see something from Stephen Bull's standpoint at some point. Joe, he's a bit lonely at the moment. He's chasing Aiden Carl. Those two are trying to work their way back through the field. They are 2 laps down. I'd love to see them work their way back onto the lead lap, but I think the ship has sailed. Unfortunately, such was the invoice they paid earlier in the piece. And Aiden Carl is due some luck in this series. when we get to the next stop on the tour next Friday night. Barber Motorsport Park, that'll be an absolute beauty. 8:40 Eastern Standard Time. We're with you for that. Maybe we'll be in a position to bring the GT1 again off very short notice. We'll find out next Friday afternoon at about 6 o'clock, I'm sure.
I'll give you a little bit more notice than you got tonight.
Thank you. I got about 30 seconds notice tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and still got in here before the green flag waved. Ethan Morris, Alex Dizzigas, Tom Donoghue, Tristan McLaren, Luke Page, and Luke Brooker. Geez, it's a good thing I don't have a social life in instances like that. Down in no man's land is Luke Brooker. He's coming to pit lane. So that's his second stop. That's only Brooker's second stop at the end of lap 76. Dream run for Brooker. He's definitely only got one stop left.
Oh, you know, something like that. I think that's too early. I've got about a half tank and then a full tank to go at the moment.
Copy that, Stephen.
He won't get home from here on without another stop. No way. Like, your critical number for mine is about lap 95.
Yeah, 95, 96, 97 are the numbers I've got as well. And that's based purely on what we saw in the first round of pit stops, 33, 34, 35. Matty Schmidtke got to 36, but we're not worried about him now because he's out of contention with that incident and that second unscheduled pit stop. What's interesting in all of that too is as Alex Dizzigas goes around the outside of Ethan Morris to take down the inside, of Ethan Morris to take the lead away. Tom Donoghue's found his way up into third spot. But Luke Brooker to only complete his second stop on lap 76 is extraordinary. So that means he's got the better part of... He's had a 40-lap stint in there somewhere.
Yeah, a couple of yellows in that as well, which would have helped that number.
Absolutely. Top 9 on your screen, covered by a second. And now we're just holding our breath and waiting for the inevitable carnage to ensue. But it's been... for the most part, like 2 big incidents, but very, very clean other than that. It's just unfortunate because it's inevitable, as tight-knit and closely bunched up as everybody is. An incident like that was always bound to happen, and you don't have a small incident, and you very rarely, when the field's checked up like this, have a single vehicle incident. There's always some collateral in that. Adam Lavis has gone up into 20th position now. Stephen Bull and he's side by side, so that's a good little scrap going on there. So we've got the battle of those that haven't been caught up in an incident yet, and then we've got the battle of those that have been caught up in the carnage. Right here and now. 130 laps the scheduled distance. Yeah, we should be good for time. We're 42 laps in. 42 and 2 is 84 and 126. And we've got leverage on the other end of that with it being a 65-minute time certain window. Yeah, we should be okay. We should be okay. I've got my fingers crossed. Alex Dizzigas, Ethan Morris, Tom Donoghue, the fastest lap of the race, and 1.5 covers the top 9. Nathan Michael up 10 spots, Dane Snadden up 15, Luke Page up 12, Martin Davis up 10, Andrew Neal up 11, so too Greg Heaney, but Heaney is on pit road right now, Joe. Ooh. And the Swannies have hit the front at the Sydney Cricket Ground as we go around the grounds. So Heaney and Schmidtke are committed to another stop. There's no doubt about that. They're not getting 50 laps out of that stint. But what they've got is leverage, Joe. They've got flexibility with regards to when they come in.
Hang on, I've just missed it.
Oh, what did you miss?
He's missed an incident. There was a car in the wall coming out of the final corner.
Oh, Schmidtke. No?
No. Maybe Thorn Weggett.
Find it.
And Dave off now goes Dave Oliver. Dave Oliver's had his own moment. There's another incident that happened before that. That was, it was Dave Oliver. Well picked up, Joe. So he struggled to get it down onto pit road, and he's going to get slugged for an unsafe pit entry, I'd say. But that's the least of his problems when you look at the state of that motor car.
Oh! Hey, you got a helping hand. Hang on, let me go back a little bit more. Here he is. Has he come? No. Oh, what's happened here, Dave? What's happened, Dave?
So this will be the end of this lap that this incident's occurred. We'll follow it around. Now he's got some company here. As you heard, Stephen Bull was in the thick of this. He did well to miss it. This is the incident here. There's the contact. Oh.
Yeah, there was definitely contact.
Oh, yeah. No, nothing net Cody about that.
Nope. And it
Lap 88.
did not trigger a yellow.
No, it didn't. Smaller incidents, see? Smaller scale.
Yeah, that's right. So, which
So
is unfortunate.
Donahue, Snadden and McLaren in the top 5. Go for it, Joe.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Dave. If that had triggered a yellow, he could have got around and pitted and stayed on the lead lap. But unfortunately, that hasn't worked out. Great battling up the front here. These guys, so the top 12 guys are still on the lead lap at this point. Andrew Neal's up 12. Martin Davis is up 11 spots. Nathan Michael's up 10. Luke Page, he's up 12 spots and currently sitting in 6th. So he's having a great race tonight. Captain Clark, I don't think we've seen much of him, which is a good thing at a place like this because we tend to follow some of the high stress incidents, as Stephen's been on screen a couple of times on the test. But it's yeah, he's putting in a great drive tonight. But Dane Snadden, now he started right down the back of the bus in 20th. Oh gosh!
Oh,
Right
how
as I
did
go
they
to
not
him,
wreck there?
Commentators curse it, nearly killed him.
How did they not wreck there?
Tom Donohoe and himself, Donahue, very, very lucky to get away with that one. Wow.
Andrew Neal currently showing on pit lane as well, and Nathan Michael off the road too.
Have a look at Nathan Michael in 1 second. I want to have a look at that. Dane Snadden, Tom Donohoe. Let's have a look at this again.
Michael has that mechanical meatball as well, Joe, so that explains why he's off the road.
Oh, yes.
Have a look at this. What a moment.
Where is it? Where is it?
Coming out of the final corner, was it not? Must have been turn 2,
Nice.
sorry. We'll just follow it on replay here for you, folks. Here we go.
It's a problem with the oval. It gets a bit
Yeah.
like you see something that's happened and yeah.
We've lost that moment, I think.
I think we might have lost that moment. We'll go back live.
Oh, Snadden's off the road. Snadden's off the road. Trouble at 1. Trouble on the main straight. Snadden's in the weeds. Donahue and Breton at the pit road. We're racing to the end at Nashville. But Dane Snadden has fallen out of the lead pack, and Alex Tzikis has just been gobbled up by Luke Page, De La Rosa and Collins, and he's dropped to 5th. Whoa, Nathan Michael's wild ride on replay. We caught that one. We caught that one. Tzikis to pit road. Oh, Tzikis to pit road on lap 94, Joe. He's going to have to go 36 laps for the final. Instead, that was the wild ride for Nathan Michael. Turns out you don't just need Red Bull to get wings.
No, so Tzikis, Braden and Joel and Hansen all on pit lane. This is a critical number. So these guys are going to fuel up and they're heading for home. Luke Page is in the pits.
They're fueling up a lap earlier than I would have expected. 95 was the threshold that I had. So, penalties. McLaren, Neal, Oliver, black flags. So that's going to shake, rattle and stir things up a little bit more and rub them further out of contention. Survival of the fittest here. De La Rosa and Morris Davis all in. So that's not surprising. 96. We had 95, 96, 97 circled. The guys that went at the end of 94, there's a small asterisk next to them. And I mean small. They probably can save enough to get around an extra lap from there. It's only a 2-kilometre lap.
So here's Tzikis coming into turn 3 out of 4. Go De La Rosa's past Morris. He's out of the pits in front. Here comes Tzikis.
I still think it's Morris's race to lose, Joe. But Tzikis is going to lead them for the moment as they get back up to speed and lead them well.
Oh, I tell you what.
Alex Tzikis leads them well.
He has got a fair number on him.
Wowee. Now, is he going like a scalded cat? And can he lead from the front? And can he save the fuel required to get 36 laps?
So there's a lap car between them. That Drew Collins. No. Lap car's just got out of the way, so that's left. So here's Brooker in second. So 8/10, he's nearly a second back. But it is closing. 6.5, 6/10, he's in the draft. Alex is a sitting duck, so these guys are just going to reel him in now. I tell you what, it was close. If he'd have got another half a second or even another 3.5 tenths out, they would have been outside that draft zone, and Alex would have been able to hopefully use a draft for some of the lap cars to keep the distance. But unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for him there. And Brooker, Morris, De La Rosa, and Page are all back in the draft zone to run the last 29 laps to bring it home. Off the wall.
Oh. It's on the inside. No, couldn't get through. So Morris and Brooker have caught Tzidikis. Luke Brooker has come from nowhere. He's got a 10-point penalty hanging over his head at the end of this. 29 to go. We're racing to the end. I don't think there's another caution coming their way, Joe.
I wouldn't have thought so. And I tell you what, if there is going to be a third one, my God, it's going to make for a grandstand finish with 10 guys on the lead lap. Greg Heaney being the last of those. You don't think Greg Heaney is hoping there's going to be a third yellow, do you? That'll bring the top 10 well within grasp, and a couple of those guys that are a lap down, Drew Collins, Ed Rollo, and maybe even Matt Schmidt, although I think Schmidt's 2 laps down. Who's that up? That's a lap car out of the way. Sorry.
You're right. Ethan Morris and Alex Tzidikis the lead in Nashville. Joe De La Rosa, Luke Brooker, and Luke Page, the top 5. Page to the inside, and Brooker goes to 4th. And here, where's Tommy Donahue ended up in all that? He's ended up back in 6th and 5 seconds down the road. Oh, boy. He's getting a tow along from Stephen Bull at the moment.
In the wall.
Trouble. Boys in the wall. Cars in the wall. Brooker's scraped the wall of the exit of 4. And another one bites the dust. And Andrew Neal now showing off the road.
Brooker would have to have damage.
Straight. He's on the tow rope. Andrew Neal, mechanical meatball.
So unfortunately, I think Brooker's just taken himself out of this one. He'll have right front damage out of that contact with the wall. That was pretty substantial.
Indeed it will be.
Yeah,
oh dear.
He's dropped back 1.5 seconds and falling. So it's a race in 4.
Watch Alex Tzidikis. He's the dark horse here. He's just been sitting there patiently biding his time, waiting for his moment all night. We're right on board with him now. Haven't even had too much of a chance to get back and get some comments from Stephen Bull because it's just been so frantic at the front. A 4-way fight all the way. And I tell you what, if we get this in the real world on Monday morning, no one will be disappointed. It's a Sunday night spectacular in the Music City. The latest round of the NTT Indycar Series. Good luck to all and sundry there. This is Disruptive Rudd's Road to Indy on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Our next stop is Barber Motorsport Park, then Long Beach. Then we go to the West Coast, again to Portland. And again, that links up with when the real world visits that part of the world. Round they come. 22 to go. So there's your 80% threshold.
Too wide. Joe and Alex. No, that'd be a lap car. We need the little bubble heads to be able to hang over the cars, iRacing.
Correct. Correct. Luke Page, what a great drive from him. In fourth place at the moment. Tzikis and De La Rosa are ahead of him. They're chasing Ethan Morris, who has controlled this race brilliantly from the outset, essentially. Withstood the pressure, stayed out of the incidents. And now the next box he has to tick is the race victory for 2 from 2. No reason why he couldn't do that. Tzikis down on the inside. Not yet. Oh, yeah, he's going for it. Why not?
3 wide.
They used the lap car there to their advantage to try and get a slipstream, and it only worked for Alex Tzikis. He gets through.
Oh, no.
Brooker's in trouble. Contact and car on the wall. Big one, Luke Page. And somebody else was caught up in that as
Aiden
well.
Kale.
Luke Brooker and Aiden Kale.
Kale, Page, and Collins.
Oh, no.
Oh,
4, 5 of them caught up. Bang.
no
It's a parking
yellow.
lot at 1. No yellow is surprising. No yellow is astonishing, quite frankly. Although, time-wise, would we have been selling ourselves short? That's the only problem I have with that.
Still 10 minutes to go.
What, from race control was that we were going to have one random, and that random might have been replaced by an incident. If an incident happened, then we've had 2 so far, so we're over budget as far as I know.
Okay.
Copy. Edward Rollo now on the tow rope as well. Drew Collins on pit road. Tristan McLaren, Luke Page. It's a casualty ward through there. And bloody hell, Stephen Bull, with us idiots in his
Top
ear,
10.
just distracting him all the way through the night, has got back to 10th. What the hell? Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. That's how you salvage something out of nothing when the chips are down. All the points are key at this time of the year.
Yeah, can't afford 2 drop rounds just yet.
No, absolutely not, mate. Absolutely not. Across the line we go. Look at Ethan Morris pushing Tzikis along.
You can just about read the part upper on Morris's front wing there. Right underneath the gearbox.
I'll go around the grounds as soon as we're done, folks. We've got some updates coming in from Sydney on a soggy, sodden night at the Sydney Cricket Ground and also Allianz, the Sydney Football Stadium as well. And Formula One first practice underway in Belgium too.
I might have to have Monday off and watch that race. I reckon Belgium.
11 o'clock Sunday night, yeah, absolutely.
I'm calling it. It's probably going to be the race of the season. The
right.
Yeah, the management with the I'm not a fan of it. I'm a pure racing fan, but I think that the idea of having to manage the power around a place like Spa is going to make for some fantastic racing. Do I think that it's pure racing? No, but it's going to be for interesting racing with the management of the battery deployment and that sort of. Oh, I tell you what, Alex got a little bit loose.
I think Formula One and the FIA collectively need to go back to the drawing board. I mean, when they're getting as much internal criticism as what they are external, you know they've taken a backward step.
What they need to do is go back in the archives to 2004, pull that rule book out, throw it at the teams, and say, let's go racing, boys.
Luke Page with a black flag and Tristan McLaren with a mechanical meatball flag. They're both on pit road at the moment. And all of a sudden, we only have 7 cars on the lead lap. Matt Schmidtke has got back to 8th. Luke Brooker is 9th. Stephen Bull is 10th. Bull is the first of the cars 2 laps down, and Tzikis is still keeping Morris at bay. We have 10 laps to go. Up around the outside goes Morris. Now he makes his move for the lead around the outside at 1. And there's nothing Alex Tzikis can do about it now. Get back down on the inside. He's going to try and force the issue. He's keeping Adam Lavis up high. Lavis a couple of laps down in his own right. 3 in fact.
Let's watch from Mav's viewpoint. These 2 guys going out. There's another lap car that's going to get in the mix of this with 8 to go.
If you're Alex Tzikis, you're using that slipstream advantage from the car in front, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. And at this point of the race,
It's working.
I would want to be in Alex's race car.
Absolutely.
With 7 to go,
agree.
I'd be sitting behind Ethan, let Ethan deal with the lap traffic first. See, I think there's a bit of gamesmanship going on up there. I reckon that these two guys, nobody is going to want to lead the start of lap 130.
No, absolutely not. It's almost like Formula V and XL racing.
Absolutely. You're just doing it at 200 mile an hour, that's all.
Correct. So, or Tzikis on the inside, Morris on the outside. Who is going to hold sway here? Who is going to play the trump card at the end of this night? We're inside the final 5 minutes. We're inside the final 7 laps. Around the outside goes Morris. Tzikis back down on the inside. Don't get caught by the lap cars, boys. Down we go. 6 to go in the Music City.
The only way you get 200 mile an hour racing out of Formula V is just to drop them out of a Boeing.
Yeah, correct. Correct. Oh, dear.
Brooke Braden, he's having a battle here with Dane Snadden.
You put the mocker on him, didn't you?
I did, didn't I, Just? He was having a great run.
Keep an eye on him, he said. And all of a sudden, he ended up in the wars.
He did.
Dear. But he's still on for a top 5 here, Joe. If he can get by Dane Snadden and Martin Davis, it'll be a nice recovery. And it's very hairy in that mid-pack. There are cars that are on the lead lap. There are cars that are a lap down. There are cars that are 2 laps down, 3 laps down. They're all mixed in at the moment.
Threading
and
the
needle.
needle.
At the leaders trying to thread their way through all of this.
Oh.
The defining moments of the race right here and now.
With 3
and
to
neither
go.
Neither one of them can afford to ease off the throttle and attack this with a degree of caution. They've got to go about it as though their life depends on it. 3 to go. And now maybe, just maybe, Morris has the breathing space required to get the job done. Traffic navigation. And how lucky can you be to get through all of that without somebody checking up and cleaning you up in the process? Oh no, Tzikis goes to pit lane. That is Alex Tzikis going to pit lane. I called it, didn't I? I said that I was a bit worried when he came in on lap 94, and there it is.
Too early.
Game, set, match. Ethan Morris is 2 from 2. An extraordinary fight from Alex Tzikis, but it comes up short. Always trust the calculator.
The Zaculator.
White flag flies in Nashville. What about this? Ethan Morris. What a performance. Got the numbers right. Got the strategy spot on. And the reward will be that what he did on the streets of St. Pete, he will do on the oval as well. The jack of all trades. He conquers both disciplines that have been put on the table so far this season. He's 2 from 2 in the Disruptive Labs Rd-2 Indy series on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Fantastic.
Joe De
Joe
La
De La
Rosa.
Rosa to 2nd. Tom Donoghue to 3rd. Back-to-back podium visits for Tommy Donoghue. Dane Snadden held off Martin Davis, Brooklyn Brett and Alex Tzikis got back to 7th in the end. Then Luke Brooker, Stephen Bull 9th, and old mate El Presidente G. Heaney 10th. Hansen, Ravis, Schmidtke, Collins, Weggett, Michael, Hale a lap, actually more than a lap down, 6 in the end, 7 in the end. Unbelievable. And then, as the victor celebrates, to the victor goes the spoils. Kalen for 17th, Page 18th, McLaren, Rollo, and Oliver rounded out the field. And Andrew Neal down there on lap 99 as well. I said 75% race distance was 98 laps. So everyone down to nearly technically can be classified, but we also have our own internal rules with regards to whether you're in the server or not at the time at which the race finishes. So that might put a line through a few of them. Oh boy, that was fun.
That was great racing there. You know, those couple of yellows early on was, you know, a bit unfortunate, but look, we had 25 guys racing around a track with a what? A 24-second lap. There was 4 tenths that covered the top 23 cars in qualifying, and you know, a track that's probably good for 3 wide, and they were going 4 wide and no contact for the vast majority of it. Like, I was very impressed with everybody in the service in that one, like everyone in the race. Couple of unfortunate instances, nothing nefarious at all, just, you know, everyone makes mistakes, and unfortunately little mistakes here make for big incidents that get people involved. You know, like, Aiden Cale got caught up early. He was one of the early favourites. You know, Luke Page was fast. You know, Schmitty was doing well. Mav got taken out early. You know, Steve Bull, you know, who was in here with us, he got taken out early as well, and fought back to 9th. And it just goes to show, you know, like, you've just got to stay in the race. So he was the first guy 2 laps down. So he was on the same lap with Heaney and Joel and Hansen. So just gotta stay in there to get results.
Hey, Stephen, fair hustle that. I mean, to come back from a couple of laps down, and I guess, you know the traits, you know the ins and outs, you know how the wheel rolls here when it comes to oval racing, and inevitably your misfortune was going to fall on somebody else, and you've come through and cleaned up the pieces. 9th, that is not a bad get out of jail free card.
Yeah, I'm not saying I would know what I'm doing here, but you know, not too often I do the ovals. It's usually just when we have a league race. But yeah, no, it was a good one. You know, I was hoping to maybe get one more lap back off of that one and pick up a few strugglers at the end, but still managed to get a couple. Happy with that. You know, I think I did what the right strategy was, which is sort of the hardest thing when you're on track and just trying to figure it out and go.
Let me go around the grounds before I get a couple more thoughts from you before we let you go, because you've been very good with your time sitting here with us for the bulk of the night. We've got Andrew Neil, Ethan Morris, Joe De La Rosa and Tom Donahue standing by. We'll hear from them in just a few moments. Let me go around the grounds. I want to start with the British Open, Royal Birkdale, because we have an Aussie in contention here early on day 2. The scores that are coming in at the moment, through 13 holes, Lucas Herbert is on 8 under par. 6 under par for Jackson Suba, was the overnight clubhouse leader. And Pearson Cootie was there on 5 under as well. So 8, 6 and 5 under the clubhouse leaders at the moment. But an Aussie is setting the pace on day 2 at Royal Birkdale, the venue in which Ian Baker Finch, of course, won the 1991 British Open title. So, yes, we'll be keeping an interesting, we'll be keeping an eye on that, an interest in that throughout the course of the weekend, and you can watch it on Fox Sports 503. Bad news to report, the Roosters beat the Storm in the NRL, right? And I'm not going to say any more about that, because it's not been a season to talk about or gloat about or write over about or anything like that if you're a Melbourne Storm supporter, and I am. But suffice to say, all the purple in my wardrobe has remained buried in the back of it throughout the course of this season so far. The AFL at the moment, the Swans and the Crows, with 16 and a half minutes to play, locked even, deadlock, 9-8-62 apiece at the moment. So, and it's about to be Adelaide in front. They've just kicked a goal. So, 10-8-68 plays 9-8-62. Could go either way, that game of football at the Sydney Cricket Ground. We'll stay across that throughout the course of the post-race show. Stephen, the next oval that we tackle is the Milwaukee Mile. Very, very different style of racetrack compared to this one. Yes, okay, you get a lot of practice at turning left once more, but it races differently. It won't be the slingshot fest that it was tonight, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, I think we went there in the Indy lights, maybe. If I recall, it's a bit tighter of a track. You're going to be trying to manage your tyres a good bit more, trying to find the lane that's working. You know, I think tonight it was just going to be whichever lane was free and had a draft is what you took. And yeah, it's going to be a lot more thought into that. And I would say probably a bit more attrition there as well, coming together with the wall.
Yes, absolutely. Do you reckon... let me ask you this, because obviously it'll be a case of a discussion throughout the course of the post-race show from everybody here. So Joe and I have been around the traps here long enough to remember the way it was, right? So 3 competition cautions on, up to 3 cautions on an oval. Have we got the number right with 2? Because obviously there was that big crash towards the end where, based on the first 2 caution flags that were thrown, that technically would have been a third had we not elapsed the limit allocated to the race by the pre-event briefing. Would you have been in favour of a late race safety car there, considering that there were 5 cars in the wall?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, that would have helped me. I would have picked up a few positions from that, so I'll be in favour of that. And in the seat tonight, where I've sort of just ended up in a incident that wasn't really mine, and not much you can do from it. It's always good to have those late race safety cars, but I think put yourself in the seat of someone up in the front. You're probably going to say the opposite. You want as much green flag running as you can, but I guess trying to take a bit of a neutral stance on it. I love what a safety car does to the strategy. It just throws a wrench in everything. So I'm all for 1 or 2 more.
I'm not necessarily the world's biggest fan of an entertainment caution, right, in terms of bunching the field up for the sake of it. We've had to do it in the past because things have got boring to the point where we were falling asleep, right? But in that instance, when there's a crash that absolutely necessitates it, yeah, I'm with you. I love what it does to strategy. I love what it does to bunching the field up and reigniting the energy in the place, and the excitement and the entertainment factor. It's great. But next week, to finish with you, Barber Motorsport Park. So 3 weeks, 3 different circuits, right? Street, oval, road, permanent circuit course next week. And with that, obviously, still margin for error, obviously, like all great racetracks, but at least you've got a little bit more runoff area to work with, Stephen.
Yeah, expecting to pop the wall there, but try not to jinx it. It's still a bit of a tough track. There's a lot of elevation to play with. You're really going to be leaning on your rears there. Plenty of opportunity to spin it up. So I really like Barber, and obviously it's a bit of an Indycar track, so obvious pick, and I think it'll be a good one.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Hard luck, but great recovery into the top 10, and some solid points that go with that to help you maybe mount a championship campaign here. But one thing's certain, old Ethan Morris is going to be tough to catch.
Yeah, no doubt. Going to have to do pretty well in the next few and just keep it really consistently up the front.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Thanks for stopping on by for a chat. We do appreciate it. Good luck with everything happening in your world, sim racing or otherwise, this weekend. We'll see you next Friday night and look forward to it.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, actually, will we see you Monday night? Because we didn't this week.
It's pretty 50-50.
Okay, copy. All right, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and be surprised on Monday night if we do see you on the grid for Monza, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
From Stephen Bull, let's go and have another chat to race winner number 1 of the season, who is now 2 from 2. Something about Friday night motorsport at the moment, Joe Baldwin, and certain drivers sweeping the night, cleaning up. Andrew Dyson's done it in GT1, and now Ethan Morris has done it in the Disruptive Labs GSRC Rd-2 Indy Series. Mate, congratulations. Another clinical performance from you, but Christ, you had to work hard for that one.
Yeah, thank you. 100%. I said his last week it wasn't going to be as much of a gap between cars as St. Pete, and I was definitely 100%, I think, right on that call.
Absolutely.
But it was even more chaotic than I expected. I reckon I'd say if you had like a bit of an eye tracker going on where I was looking, I think I probably spent more time looking backwards than forwards. Just Alex, the whole race, props to him, man, keeping me on my toes, making me go on the defensive pretty much the whole race. I was running defense almost the whole time, I felt. And just unfortunate, I guess, that he wasn't able to make it on fuel. I was a bit unsure of that. That's why I was racing him hard. But also, you would have seen, I think, in that third stint, I was sitting on it, just sitting behind him for about 10 or so laps. That was me saving the necessary fuel. So it was one of those cases of
were you saving fuel for yourself or trying to get him to burn his?
Bit
Yeah,
of both.
good point.
Bit of both.
Yeah,
I knew I
yeah,
needed to
yeah.
save my fuel, and if he's got to push through it and create that gap, I know he can't. So it's either
Yeah.
we all slow down and someone else takes the lead, or it was me just sort of hopefully able to profit. And I think, Alex, unfortunately, just maybe miscalculated or whatever in the race, and just obviously had to pit in a bit early at the end.
And to be fair, mate, we were watching that and like we were just in awe of how clean it was, how entertaining it was, how exhilarating it was. As you said, eyes in your back of your head rather than looking forward. But really well executed racecraft from your standpoint. We know that Alex was 2 laps short on fuel. We flagged that as a potential issue when he pitted on lap 94, but you both took your fair share of dragging everybody along, picking up the freight. Where were you with regards to fuel at the checkered flag? Just how tight were you running?
I had about half a litre left. I still had, even though I'd done an extra 2 laps than Alex on the pit stop before, I actually still had to fuel save in that last stint, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite sketchy. I came around to the front straight to do a burnout, and I ran out of fuel as soon as I started lighting up the tyres.
We saw that, yes. We were running the leaderboard, and we saw that it was a bit anticlimactic, the post-race celebration, mate. But in saying that, yeah, the result sheet won't be reflective of just how hard you had to work for that one. I mean, the challenges were many. It wasn't just Alex. Stephen Ball was there in the early part. And also, what about the early charge from 13th on the grid from Aidan Cale?
Yeah, I have to say, when I was checking my mirrors and I'm seeing like a car, okay, I don't recognize this car. You start to recognize what Alex's car looks like, what Stephen's car looks like. Who's sort of trying to push you. And yeah, check the relative, like, who's this new car? No, it's Aidan. I'm thinking, where's he come from? I mean, he was damn fast too. Like, I was thinking, okay, maybe, if he's got the pace, I'll let him go in front. I'll do my fuel save a little early, because at that stage I wasn't sure how the safety cars would play out.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think there was also a little bit of cat and mouse going on. Joe flagged this in commentary, mate, with regards to... He was saying you probably didn't want to lead to the white flag if it was still tight at that point. What was going through your mind tactically with regards to how you were going to play the last lap, should Alex have still been a factor?
Depending on how closely you were watching the battles that we had earlier, every time he'd get by me into 3 and 4, I'd normally use the hybrid to get past him before the start-finish line, technically.
Yeah.
Effectively, all that is a practice run for the last lap. So I would still want to lead going onto the white flag, because at the end of the day, I can sort of just hold on that yellow line and just stick it in the inside. I can just rely on having a fully charged battery and just dump it on the run of the line or on the back stretch, depending on depending on where the gap is. All I'm trying to do is just create as much distance as possible. But yeah, it was all practice. If he did get up the inside, because he did have a few times where he did sort of get high on the inside of me and sneak in, and he caught me out. But yeah, if that did happen on the last lap, it was all prep, where do I launch on that battery to make sure I'm just ahead, even if it's just by nose line, because that's all that matters.
Are you a fan of the hybrid systems in this style of racing, Ethan? Like, do you think it's actually a good thing, or are you, I mean, call me a boomer, but I would think that hybrid racing with this style of car is not really... Oh, I don't know. I don't think it's a pure racing. But I'm an old fart, but whatever. But do you think it adds a good element to it, or do you think that dinosaur blood's a better thing to go racing with?
Yeah, I'm kind of split, to be honest. Because we don't have push to pass on the ovals. So before the hybrid, Indycar of course had this sort of like, I guess, a boost feature like the battery does in the hybrid. And it did kind of surprise me that the hybrid is allowed on the ovals. But I mean, it goes both ways. Yeah, I agree that it can sort of mean, I know there were a few times where it's like Alex would get a good pass on me, and then I just dump the battery and I get by him before the next corner, because I've just had it saved waiting for him to get past, sort of thing. And yeah, I can understand that feels a little artificial, not official.
Artificial,
but yeah. But at the end of the day, it's sort of like, you adapt to the tools, and obviously it impacts the racing. But I would say, based off past experience with these sorts of races at night in the IndyCar on these sort of I think it's 1 1/3 mile track that Nashville is, you'd likely find it probably made the race better in terms of overtaking, because especially when you're in the pack, you can use that to counteract all the dirty air that you get when you're in this sort of 5-6 car pack. If you're at the rear, you got no aero, so you're relying purely on either running the car as loose as you can, which you're risking just spinning out and causing a big wreck, and then is that your race over, or have you got a fast repair in your back pocket, that sort of thing? You're putting that to chance. Whereas the hybrid lets you, you can recharge in the draft and not lose any time, and you've just constantly got this extra little bit of horsepower, but the leader doesn't get that. So it means that you can keep up and not, end up shredding your tires, or you're having to run into a car so dangerously that it ends up potentially just ending your race anyway.
Yeah, cool.
It's interesting, isn't it, listening to that discussion play out, because you've got to go back to the drawing board each and every week, don't you? Because when you look at the fact that we were talking last week about, obviously, push to pass on the streets of St. Petersburg, we're talking about alternate and primary tyres. Every single race has different little 1%ers in terms of the way they play out and the rules and regulations as well. So, Ethan, how do you prepare for all of that each and every week, knowing that next week we go back to Barber, so we're back to 2 compound tyres, we're back to push to pass, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of prep, I know for me, my sort of, I guess, routine, if you want to call it that, is I will do, if there's 2 tyre compounds, I do 1 stint on each and just sort of do a comparison on timing. Normally, and that'll help me determine, because some tracks say, for example, at St. Pete, the primary tyre, the black tyre, was much faster than the reds. The reds could last and they give you that initial boost as they're supposed to, but over the stint, they were not the best tyre. Whereas at Barber, if going off history, I would expect that the alternates will probably be the preferred tyre. It's testing to be done, and we'll see how the setup goes with that, because of course, being fixed setup, we can't make tweaks to potentially make it nicer on the tyres. So we'll do our testing and see how it goes. But end of the day, yeah, you just got to put time in, really. And I mean, fortunately, because of the low fuel tanks that the Indycar has, and even running the half full tanks that we run in this series, doing 1 stint on each tyre takes about half an hour, 20 minutes, or 40 minutes or so. And so it's not that much of a commitment, which is good, because it means you don't have this situation where you've got to, if you want to be truly prepared, you've got to test all these different variables. Because at the end of the day, I know for me, I don't really test with push to pass. I don't, practice overtakes with it. It's mainly, but that I would put more down to experience than, do you need to do it or not? For me, it's just I'm confident enough with the card at this point where I feel I can adjust with the push to pass on the fly. So it's a little bit of time saved. But yeah, overall, it's you put in time and you test what you can. But it's fortunately not a car where, you've got to put in 8 hours to test for every single possible condition.
Well, that's good to know as well. I mean, you're 2 from 2 already. Just like Daiso, the sweep of the season is still alive and well chanced at this point in time. Can you keep the momentum running when we get to Barber? We were told last week that you're probably better on ovals than what you are on road and street courses, and you've gone out and proved that. What about, that was the first big incident of the night on replay there for you folks too, by the way, caught up Aiden Carl and a few others. But with regards to all of that, you look at Barber, how do you feel about that as opposed to the other 2 tracks that we've been to so far? Is it more preferred or less preferred?
Barber's one of my favourite road courses on the circuit.
Well, there we go. So, the message has been sent.
Not to lay down the gauntlet, but I'm looking forward to it.
The message has been sent, and everybody just, deflated hearing that right now. No doubt about that. Hey, with regards to the strategy tonight, it was an interesting one too, because we got those 2 pit stops. We got the 2 crashes that triggered the 2 cautions, and we knew that it was going to be interesting, especially with the timing of the second deployment of the safety car, mate. With regards to whether it was going to be a 3-stop race or a 4-stop race, as we found out, a couple of guys tripped themselves up, but luckily those of you at the front with enough fuel-saving niche ability in the 4th stint were able to make it work, because it was mighty tight.
Yeah, it was a bit sketchy. I definitely, once the first caution came out, I thought, okay, if it runs long enough, is there a chance, if I'm on the lowest fuel map and I just sit in traffic all race, could I make it technically? But then, I thought, nah, it's not worth it, because I'd have to run the open at some point when I'm not in the pack when everyone else is pitting, so it wouldn't work. But then the second caution comes out. All of a sudden, I look at the lap count. I'm like, yep, we got 2 full fuel stints pretty much if I do a little bit of a save, just a smidge, and we'd make it pretty easy on 1 more green flag stop. Fortunately, didn't have any more cautions that sort of would interfere with that strategy as well, because the thing that it's obviously just the nature of the ovals and IndyCar in general, where of course we've got to line up behind the pace car before we come to the pits. So I couldn't necessarily, play the gamble and then have other guys not be able to see. But, obviously the moment I pull in, it's an easy decision to make. It like, oh, well, the leader's coming in, so I'll just follow him in, stick on the leading strategy. So it was one of those things where it didn't surprise me that as soon as I went down, most people followed me in. And yeah, just fortunate that it played out. No more cautions. I guess that timing on that other last big wreck must have, I guess, just been past that rule in terms of safety car timing late in the race. But yeah, overall, strategy fortunately played out as I expected it to once that second caution came out, with a little bit of an adjustment on the fly when I realized I was using just a bit too much fuel from leading out front.
It's interesting too because we were very quick to do the numbers, mate, and work out that there was just no merit in trying to do 3 green flag pit stops because the invoice you paid was just too high, given how short a lap it was and how long the transit down pit lane was. It was almost a lap and a half you lost in transit on the first round of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, and it's an important thing, when you consider how going a lap down would impact you if we had a yellow. So there's generally, like, in a strategy in a longer race would be your fuel save almost from the get-go, and you're trying to just be the last one to pit because you're almost banking on depending on the conditions. It's not as relevant here at Nashville where it was a nice cool night, and so the track was only about 25 degrees or so. It was nice and stable. But if you're running a daytime race on the ovals and the track temps up around 50 degrees or something like that, and the tyres are sketchy on those first few laps, you can almost I would always put a bet on it that, if you can fuel save past the green flag pit stop cycle a bit, have someone catch themselves out, put themselves on the fence on cold tyres, and then you've got a yellow, all of a sudden you've got a lap on the field. And then, obviously, a wave around will play out, but that can leapfrog you from 18th or something if you've been sitting at the back all the way up to first in one go. So there's that strategy element at play, and I did have that in the back of my mind, but as soon as I put it on pole in qualifying, the thought was, nah, that's, I've got to go flat out the whole time because I'm going to be at the front. I'm not going to go and sit at the back because knowing that we'd be packed together, I figured the risk of an accident was pretty likely. And it did, of course, come to fruition fairly quickly. But yeah, overall, strategy-wise, it's mainly, I think, you push at night. If it's in the day, you think more about your fuel.
And Thornberger just saying as well that he didn't finish last, and that in itself is a win for him. But yeah, it's great to get your insights as always, Eth. Well done, mate. Terrific performance. The pit stops, obviously, a defining part of the narrative. But also as well, mate, just reward for you for the fact that you were able to qualify at the point end of the field again, because had that first stint not played out in your favour, you very easily could have been caught up in that incident that wiped out Eric Fenson, Stephen Bull, and also Aidan Carl.
Yeah, 100%. There's always an element of, wanting to get up the front so you can sort of be ahead of the chaos. And I definitely know there are a few times, especially in that first caution, where I've seen Alex throw it in deep, and I've thought, oh, he's not making that. Hopefully Aidan's seen him. And, I'm just watching the mirror, and then I just see Aidan start to turn, and it's like, yeah, all right, something's going to happen. And then, of course, you see a flash of red and something else up in the air, and I'm thinking, okay, probably a yellow coming, and then, yeah, fortunately, safety car came out. But, yeah, it's one of those cases where being up front, you can be in a bit more control, and that's a position that you definitely want to be in these sorts of races.
Indeed, it is. Very nicely done, mate. What else is on the calendar as far as sim racing is concerned for you between now and Barber Motorsport Park next week?
We'll see how we go on and doing a GSRC night or two beforehand. We'll see how my week looks next week. But I know the main thing for me is on Sunday, I've got the Indycar iRacing series, of course, lining up with Nashville on the Indycar calendar in real life. We've got our round there. So that's a full-length 300-lap race there. And it'll be in very different conditions because it's pretty much in the afternoon, so a much hotter track. And, of course, with that full-length race, full tanks, it's a lot more strategy at play. And coming up against a lot of the Yanks, some of them can be a bit defensive on ovals. I don't like being beaten by people who aren't from their side of the world.
No, that's exactly right. But the other thing as well, mate, I mean, Joe mentioned it during the call, the fact that we are sometimes hard to sell when it comes to oval racing. If they're all as good as that in terms of the entertainment factor, and I'm thinking when I say that, you've got to look at Atlanta, you've got to look at Texas, you've got to probably look at Las Vegas, Daytona and Talladega when it comes to Indy cars. They're probably the 6 ovals that are a little straight oval racing the best. If we saw more races like that, no one would leave disappointed. Everyone would be glued in.
Yeah, 100%. Like that sort of race, even though you maybe argue at some points of it, it would have been a bit boring for me. It's certainly not. When you've got, there's the thing that I'll always argue for oval racing for is the fact that you've always got someone around you. You're never on your own on an oval, especially on these sort of 1.5 mile rough tracks, you know, like your Kansas. Or I will say, if we're doing another IndyCar event or league at some point, or another round or season, whatever you want to label it, 100%. If you can think about putting Auto Club Speedway on the schedule, that
we've done that.
Down best super speedway.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
But there's one problem there. Sorry, Ethan, is you won't have a broadcaster.
No, because Joe will be in there with you.
Racing with you.
Guys are all on board. Fair enough.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just looking right at screen at the moment. The Crows are going to win on a Friday night in Sydney, so we're not going to hear the end of it from bloody Jordan Pianazzola at this point. They are 2 goals to the good, 3 minutes on the clock, and they're setting up to extend the lead out to 13 or even 18 points. And yes, Sydney and wet weather tonight has not been to the Swans' benefit, and they are slowly but surely slipping. The choke has begun a lot earlier for the red and the white this year. Started in Brisbane about 3 weeks ago. My goodness. All right, very nicely done. Eth, thanks for your time, mate, as always. Who would you like to thank?
Oh, I mean, once again, thanks to the guys for running. Big props to Liam and RC. You know, doing an oval race that's as tight as that, there's a lot of things going on. Keeping track of everything, you know, can be tricky. So just props to him for a good job doing race control, I think, by himself tonight. So, yeah, it's a pretty full-on job, and doing that for the full race, 100% props to him.
Very nicely done, sir. Thank you for that. Hey, Trucker.
Yeah, mate?
I just before I go and we catch up with, and I don't know, Andrew Neal's already ducked off, so we'll catch up with Neely another day. Joe De La Rosa we've got to get to in a moment, and Tom Donahue as well, and then you and I are good to get out of here. But no, I wouldn't say everything, Jordan. I wouldn't. That's a bit of a stretch, right? That's having a bit of a pull of it. But Trucker, we do have a little bit of housekeeping that we probably should have done after GT1, and we never got a chance to. There he is, good boy, he's onto it. MtnMen, where are we going this week? We're going to Mount Panorama Bathurst. What are we driving? We're about to find out. We normally get onto this a lot earlier than usual, and we didn't this week.
Oh, that was so close to being the MX-5.
Just
488 challenge car. That's a tricky car for the mountain. I'm looking for, I don't know if I'll be there, but yeah, that should put on some good racing. I was hoping it was going to be the Miata. I would have called in sick, but that's all right. Yeah, so 488 challenge car tomorrow night up on the mountain. Another bloody GT car. Let's go. All right.
Yeah, why not? That's 2 from 2 to start the season for you. You had GT4 last week, didn't you?
We did have GT4. Yeah. Oh, I love GT cars. Oh, exciting.
They're not bad. They're not bad.
Nah, not bad. They do put on good racing. For the guys who can drive them.
Yeah, hopefully the MX-5 Miata next week, maybe the Radical a couple of weeks later, and then obviously, as you saw there, there's a couple of other good choices as well, the 991 included. All right, very nicely done. So you got the Ferrari, the prancing horse tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of which, free practice 1 underway, Belgian Formula 1 Grand Prix, 8.5 minutes to go on the session. Max Verstappen on top from the 2 Ferraris, Hamilton and Leclerc. The benchmark time at the moment, 1:47.070. I'm watching that live as I talk to you fellas via Fox Sports and KO around Australia. So you've got the Golf on 5:03 and the cars on 5:06. That comment that's coming through, Pianazzola. All right, I'm just gonna ignore the blatant Adelaide bias that's polluting our YouTube comments section at the moment. Don't do beaches real well, really? Okay, I've heard good things about a couple of the beaches over there, but where would you say does the best beaches? Don't say Queensland, because I've got the feeling that New South Wales actually wins that one. I've been to the New South Wales beaches and I've enjoyed the Lake
WA beaches, mate.
I haven't been to WA though, and I've got to do WA at some point. I have not got back over there since 2023, and I need to do it. But where do I find the time, Joe? That's the problem. There's only 52 weeks in the year, and 40 of them are spent here.
And he's right, Glenelg, the district of Glenelg is great, but if you want to surf, it's not very great. So Margaret River, Even around the Bunbury region here, like as far as beaches go, like what I consider a real beach, not a glorified swimming pool with no waves.
Ooh, here we go. Okay. Zach Hudjar is going to get a grid penalty. There's the news coming through from Belgium tonight as well. So there's a couple of grid penalties being handed out after qualifying tomorrow night. Okay. Well, we won't keep the fans waiting. We won't keep them waiting any longer. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Joe Della Rosa.
How are you guys?
There he is. Mate, we're well. Good to catch. Good to have you in the booth. Good to catch up for a chat. Wolfbane Thornwegert's just talking about Resolute Beach. I was going to say, actually, Jordan, I am acutely aware of that one. I have been referred by a couple of friends that are frequent visitors to Maslin's as well. So if you haven't, yes, do yourself a favour, but leave your sense of humour at the door before you do that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not that way inclined. Joe, let's have a chat about a couple of things here. Firstly, what a bloody charge that was. Up onto the podium, a great result, although... Talk me through the bloody confusion that was unfolding during that second safety car interval, please.
Yes, well, I'm not quite sure what was going on, but I think I was in 6th position, 4th or 6th, I can't remember. But I got a call around. There was 2 cars. There was a car ahead of me that also got a call around, so we both went. So I'm not sure what was going on there. So he went and took off, and then realised it was a bit of a mistake going on, so yeah. What do you do?
What do you do indeed? Well, that's exactly right. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle going on. There was a lot going on internally, externally during that safety car period. We were trying to sort a lot out because obviously there was an incident, there were pit stops, there was a bit of confusion. We eventually got to a resolution of the problem, which is all we can ask for. But I tell you what, you took full advantage of it for the second half of the race. Stayed right there in the thick of it, mate, there when the whips were cracking. And again, a key to the success tonight was staying out of trouble, which some of our faster guys, and I'm thinking Aidan Cale, I'm thinking Eric Fenson, I'm thinking Stephen Bull, weren't able to do.
Yep, that's exactly what I was trying to do. Just stay out of trouble, just try and hang on to the back of them. Stay in the draft and yeah, see what would perspire, and that's a second come out of it, which was quite good. I nearly got involved in that last incident and had a big save and dropped off the first and second. I had probably plenty of fuel to give them a bit of a run, but nah, it was all good. I dropped off after I had that incident, and then yeah, just tried to finish.
And finish you did. I mean, you had to fend off hard charging, late charging Tommy Donahue. There was a fair bit of other stuff going on out there as well. But can I tell you this? As Adam Lavis is crunching the numbers tonight, that's going to vault you up to 157 points in the championship. I can't run through the full points layout at the moment for everybody at home because Adam's still crunching away. But yes, that's going to be a big, big gain for you in the grand scheme of things with a view to the season ahead. And are you committed to all 10 weeks? Are you here for the entire season, mate, or not?
Yeah, I think so. I'll give it a good crack, I think. I sort of committed myself to the PCCs and Indycar, so I'll try and stick with that for this season. I'll do my best. Got a little girl, so you know that can get in the way sometimes.
Priorities.
But yeah,
Yep.
So yeah, do my best.
Just talk me through. You mentioned damage there a few moments ago, so give me a little bit of intel as to just how noticeable that damage was and how much it compromised you for the back few moments of that race there.
Well, I wasn't sure whether I had a bit of damage or not, but when I got back up to speed, I got to thank my teammate for giving me a draft. I didn't have confidence at all in the corners, so I was losing a bit of time in the corners, and then obviously when I got a bit of a draft and was gaining a bit more confidence, it seemed to get up and going again. not too bad, but I was still feel like I was losing time on Tom. I thought he was going to catch me, but maybe he was low on fuel as well, or just we had a bit of lap traffic as well trying to get back through. So maybe that helped me out as well. So
maybe so. I was going to say, with regards to all that, we won't get a chance to verify where Tommy was with regards to fuel and whatnot because he's left the booth. But Aidan Cale has joined us, so we look forward to hearing from Aidan in just a few moments. But it's interesting, right, because everyone's running different strategies. Some got the fuel numbers right, some got the fuel numbers wrong. Fuel wasn't your problem, though.
No. Again, thanks to my teammate working out the numbers and all that, we got that spot on for the first time in a long time. So yeah, we were foot to the floor basically all the way to the end, which was good.
Just how much of an anchor can it be? How much of an aid can it be? How beneficial can it be to have someone in your ear throughout the course of the race? Because it's not the first time you've mentioned the importance of having someone there dotting the I's and crossing the T's for you, and obviously that takes a little bit of a load off for you.
Yeah, it does. It helps immensely, I think, especially on short tracks like this. You don't really want to be pushing buttons or looking away all the time or looking somewhere else on the track. So try and keep focused on what you're doing.
Indeed. And especially when everyone's as bunched up as they were tonight, mate. Really got to keep your wits about you, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
So, with a view to next week, just looking at the results so far this season, you're going to vault up in the fifth in the order, 15th at St. Pete with the second tonight. Which would you say is your preferred discipline here? Is it the oval? Is it the proper purpose-built circuits, or is it the street courses?
I do like the street courses and proper circuits, but I seem to do better in ovals. So maybe I should, maybe I should change my preference, I think. But yeah.
Maybe so. Hey, just talk to me about what the next few days look like, because everyone goes about it differently. You heard Ethan say he doesn't necessarily have to sit there and spend 8 hours chipping away at his preparations for an Indycar round. But what goes into the planning for you with a view to next week when we go to Barber Motorsport Park?
Well, number one is buying the circuit, and then number two is probably doing some practice probably about an hour before we race. So that'll be my preparation.
Oh, that's how late you leave it, an hour?
Yeah. So I don't have much other time to put aside.
Any other racing outside of the Indycar, or again, is that a time issue?
Yeah, it's more like time. So I try to, I can probably do the Porsches and Indycar for now.
How are you enjoying the Porsches, by the way?
Love it. Enjoy it. Not a great race in my last race, so I didn't really enjoy the circuit, Fuji, but yes, highly recommend it. It's good fun.
And with the view to, obviously, that being a tin top, this being an open wheeler, different calendars, different circuits each week. But more to the point, there's something to be said here about the tug of war and words that we've had with regards to the 992.1 versus the current 992.2. Surely you've been caught up in that crossfire of discussion at some point, mate. Where do you sit with it? Do you like the new car, or would you much prefer the old one?
I didn't really get to drive the old one, but so I don't really know the changes, but I do enjoy this car. I did a couple of enduros with some mates with the Nürburgring with this car, so, and yeah, really enjoyed it. So I'd have heard that it was different than the older one, maybe a bit more lighter on the front end or something, so, but yeah, I haven't really noticed it.
All right, very nicely done. Does Joe B have any questions for Joe D?
You seem to be picking these cars up pretty quick, mate. Have you done a lot of racing with them? Because it seems very consistent tonight. It's got you a great result. So is it something you've done a lot of racing with those cars, or?
No, I'm pretty old school like yourself, mate. Just foot to the floor and try to keep it straight, mate. So yeah, just try and have fun. We seem to pick it up, maybe.
Yeah, we did hear the guys. We did hear Ethan earlier on talking about the regen harvesting or whatever it is. Did you use that much during the race, or is that you just used the foot?
I heard something about it. I couldn't work out a button to apply it to, and I don't know what it was in my black box, what I could use. So no, I didn't use it at all. So I'm very old school.
Yeah, nice, same.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. So, two-part question to wrap it up, because Joe and I do have a bit of housekeeping to do in the form of going back and covering off the current updated championship standings for both the Porsches and the Vs after we weren't able to do that at the end of last night's broadcast. So we'll do that very shortly. But talk to me about next week. So Barber Motorsport Park we're looking forward to. How do you feel about where we're going with the Porsches, which for memory is Watkins Glen, and we're on the boot course and it's sprint racing?
Yeah, well, that should be quite an eye-opener as well. I do enjoy, Watkins Glen. With the Porsches, I'm not sure how that'll go with the front end, but I'm sure it'll be pretty entertaining.
Indeed. And apologies, folks. I'm sitting here at the moment scrambling, trying to open up tabs, and I'm clicking the wrong buttons, and it's just I'm ready to chuck it in for the night. It's been that sort of week. But yes, as most of you know, I was organising myself and setting up my setup as we were broadcasting the opening laps of Brands Hatch tonight. So, yes, have to do a bit of catch-up and go back and cross-reference at the end of the night for a change. Joe, thank you, mate, for stopping on by. Well done. Great result. And hopefully much more of that to come from you throughout the course of the remainder of this season, although there'll be a few guys chasing their tail, and we're going to hear from one in a moment after a rather rough start of the season, that'll be trying to knock you off that perch of second on the podium tonight as the season goes on, mate. So we're looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table, and thanks for coming to have a chat with us. Go well.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Well done.
And just across the bottom there, Race Control is actually sending through some of the penalties from the race. So they'll flash up across the bottom of the screen. So just keep your eyes on that, and you'll know what the outcome was at the end of it. But Mr. Maverick has actually done the championship things too. So
he has, and he's going to go back and work on the GT1 Civil War after that, I would imagine. So if we get a chance to go back and cover that off, we will. If not, next week. But we do have the updated points for the Formula V and the Porsche Cup Series to bring you before we sign off tonight, folks. Last cab off the rank. Well, Andrew Neil came and went very quickly. Tom Donoghue came and went before we got a word in. But thankfully, that means that we get to Aiden Cale a lot quicker. You can't take a bloody trick at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit different to some of the series that I've been a part of so far for GSRC. Yeah, bit of a different start to the season, I think.
You've just absolutely obliterated and carved up and cleaned up in the last season in Formula 3. No such luck here in the Indycar. If you're to win this, it's going to have to be an almighty run home with pretty much 2 drop rounds already burnt. But talk us through it, because qualifying didn't go to plan. I'm hazarding a guess based on where you started, but by gee, you chased your tail and chased it well in the first stint. And had it not been for a little bit of nip-tuck with, I think it was Alex Dezikis who gave you a little bit of a clip, you were on song for a strong result tonight, but it all went belly up very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit lost for words. Well, I wasn't really lost for words when the contact happened. I think the parents definitely shut the door to my bedroom after that one.
The words just won't say for broadcast, folks. Yes.
Yeah, definitely not. But no, qualifying, I knew it was going to be a bit of a blunder. Usually is with the ovals for me in the Indycar from the lack of experience that I've got. But there's a lot of like meta things that you can do. Like I think it's like revving to a point for a certain amount of time that gets the car into the optimal temperature. Something that I was seeing during qualifying by some of the people there. I'm not going to name names, but I think that's just might just be the optimal way of getting the car into the window there for qualifying. So I wasn't too fussed because I'm not really bothered to do all that meta stuff. Just go out there, set your lap, and have at it. But the race pace, I was really, really happy with my race pace. This was actually a little interesting tussle here in the pit lane. I didn't realise that there was contact in the pit lane, so he moved over a little bit, and it caused that tiny bit of contact there in the pit lane. But no, I mean the boys at the Hulkos Hollinger Racing, yeah, I think we've run through our resources tonight.
Absolutely, mate. But at least you're able to get back out there and persevere. Talk us through the way in which you went about charging away or clawing your way back through the field, because that was a slow and steady sort of process, considering that it took a while for other drivers to fall by the wayside, run into their own trouble, go a lap down, etc. But as we saw with you and Stephen Bull both trying to stay out of trouble, the chance was there to climb back through and salvage something out of the night.
Yeah, I mean, my philosophy the last couple of months or whatnot, even last couple of years on iRacing since I've been on it, is always just to finish a race, So far I'm 0 for 2, or was 0 for 2 in the IndyCar series. Both were cold tyre incidents from myself, which is, a bit, I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to manage those cold tyres after a pit stop. But yeah, so I think the philosophy is always just to finish a race, really. You never know what could happen. You never know how many incidents could happen. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong end of the stick today. But the race pace was really good. It's just about kind of extracting those positives out of a race day, really. Like the adjustments that I had made to the car, like even in dirty air, like under the aero wash. I mean, I was still flat most of those corners with the aero wash still, or a little lifts. Like when I was behind Ethan there, it was, piece of cake. I think he was fuel saving, which I think it appeared to be. But the car was really good and just not really washing up. So no, it was the race pace was really good, and I think that's pretty confident going to I think it's Milwaukee is the next oval.
Yes, and then the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So, yeah, and we've got a fair while to wait for that as well, to be fair, Aidan. It's not down until round 8, so 2 ovals in 3 weeks to end the season, which means the next 5 rounds are either road courses or street courses. Yeah,
I mean, hopefully, it gives me a little bit of room to kind of climb back up the standings. If I get a top 5 in the standings, I think I'll be happy at this rate. We had a really good qualifying at St. Pete. Absolutely love that track. Just chef's kiss, that track. Someone up in the clouds was making that track and designing it. Same with the Coronado Naval course. That's it's just unreal. But so we've had good pace. Like there's no doubt about it. It's just the my own skill issues and some other incidents like last week at St. Pete and today, it just hasn't fallen our way.
No, it certainly has not, but we press on and hopefully you can bounce back in the next couple of weeks. Speaking of which, Harbour Motorsport Park, how do you feel about that one?
Honestly, I hate seeing that replay again, but I didn't know I had a rear wing there, so I thought I still had the rear wing intact, and then it just kind of hooked on me. But yeah, Barber actually, I absolutely love that track. It's probably one of, if not my favorite, like non-street circuit on the service. So yeah, it's almost like a massive roller coaster, and everything flows into the next corner. So I haven't seemed to have the pace there in the Indy lights. So I think I might be missing those couple of tenths to kind of get the top 2, maybe top 3. So, but that's all right. It's just about enjoying it, really.
Indeed. What have you got to do to reel in someone as dominant as Ethan Morris has been throughout the course of the season, mate? You know what it's like to be the benchmark of a series. You're cleaned up in Formula 3. But how do you go about instead of being the chased, being the chaser?
It really uses a different kind of mindset, I think. It's after weeks like what I've had the last couple of weeks, I did struggle to pick myself up after that St. Pete one, just because I'd done a lot of prep and was really excited for it. This one, not so much, because ovals, it's like I kind of go in and it's like, oh, is it flat? Yep, it's flat. All right, I'm not going to do any laps until I'm behind some dirty air. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of taking it a week at a time and not really looking at the standings. Ethan is incredibly quick in these cars. Like, I've had a look at his Garage 61, and yeah, that dude absolutely specialises in these cars. So, proof's in the pudding. This dude is incredibly well suited to these cars, and yeah, like, we got the jump on him at St. Pete. I'm not really expecting him to do that every single week, but yeah, it's just a matter of just taking it week by week and trying to make some smart decisions. Obviously, I can't make decisions for other people, but yeah, just been doing what I've been doing, really, is, gonna try and claw myself back and just optimize my quality and race pace and the strategy as well.
And what else is keeping you busy at the moment? Because this is the first time I've had a chance to have a proper chat with you this season, and we're impressed that you have stuck around so long after a night that I guess you're going to put a line through in the long run, the grand scheme of things. But what else is keeping you busy sim racing-wise between now and Barber?
We'll have to see, actually. I've been doing quite a bit of just exploring and enjoying myself, really. I'm so glad that these cars are fixed setup, because I find with the fixed setup, the mentality is really, it's what's possible. I'm not really a setup guru. I mean, I don't really know the first thing about changing a setup, so the fixed setup races really helps me, and it really excites me to race in them, because you can kind of jump in and focus on your racecraft. I'm not really too much caring about the setups and the technological side of things. So, but yeah. So I've been doing a bit of Porsche Cup recently, which is never done Porsche Cup races and been enjoying that. It'll be an LMP3, I think. Might do a little bit of GT4 and some LMP2, I think, before we head to Barber, and obviously a little bit of Indycar, because they're at an interesting track next week for officials.
Oh, where are you off to for officials, please?
I think they're at Virginia next week.
VIR, yeah, right.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And then in a couple of weeks they all go to Portland, so I'll be, yeah, I don't think I'll be doing anything else for the next, for that entire week other than Portland races. Absolutely love that track.
Very nicely done. Well, we can only hope that it starts to go a little bit better for you over the course of the next 8 weeks, mate. And for Stephen Bull as well. He's still here in the booth with us. Because it'd be much nicer to be having a chat with you blokes as podium finishers. But what it's giving us is a chance to have a chat to a few other blokes that are beneficiaries of your unfortunate demises so far. And we're looking forward to seeing what those guys continue to do as the season goes on. And we're going to have an enormous spread of different race winners and podium finishers if things continue to go as they've done so far. Oh, okay, sorry. Scrap race winners from that. Podium finishers, because we've got the same bloke leading up 2 weeks so far from 2 in both GT1 and the Indycar series. Gentlemen, you've been really good with your time. Thanks for hanging back. Aidan, is there anyone you'd like to thank before I let you go?
Not really, just thanking everyone that rocks up and, races cleanly. We all have accidents and that's just part and parcel of it. But yeah, this league has shown time and time again the clean racing that you know is what I think a lot of people are looking for. And I think we've had a huge influx of new drivers as well, as I've been watching like GT3 and Porsche Cup. So it's awesome to see it's awesome to see new people in. I'm a huge advocate for this league. It's just really well designed, and everyone's you actually feel like a bit of a community here. So no, just everyone at the league really, and all my competitors, and all of you guys at the live streams. Like, I've been seeing how long they've been recently. So yeah, thanks for you guys giving your time up, and all the race controllers, and even Steven as well. He's always super quick. It's always good to race him. Maybe we need to hold hands next time, so we don't get taken out.
Work together. I don't mind the sound of that.
Number 41 Alliance.
Love it. Hey, gentlemen, have a good weekend. Go well.
Thank you.
Right now, let's go and cover off some housekeeping, Joe Baldwin. GT1 Civil War points still being worked on at this point, so can't go there. Can go to last night, however. Disruptive Labs Formula V. Sam Chapman continues to lead the way. Round honours went to John Merritt, 141 points. Fifth, second, first. Second, 134 points for Tony Baker. He had a dream run last night. And third on points last night. Actually, no, there was a tie for silver. Ryan Tate, 134 as well. Chapo, 274 leads Jonathan Harris, 253. He got a race win last night and a richly deserved one at that. 235 for Adam Lavis, 232 for Mark Heppel, 217 for Jordan Pianazzola, and 213 for Hilton Booth, 208 apiece for Ryan Tate and Michael Adams. Tarek Alani, 206. And Joel and Hansen, 184 points. Porsche Cup, the elite split, that is currently being led by... Actually, no. Can I go there? Yes, I can. I can go there.
Of course you can.
What the hell's going on here?
Oh.
S. Rankin. He's commentating the latter stages of the Sandown 500 now for V8 Pro. Christ, he'd have no idea that this is going on. What on earth is going on there? S. Rankin from nowhere with 12th last night, second last week, leads the way on 220 points, two clear of Willie Blair with a third and a fourth. So it just goes to show you that a second and 12 trumps a third and a fourth. What are we dealing with here? Now, ninth and third for Luke Page. He sits fifth, but look at the margins. 203 for Jeff Adams, 202 for Benny Pedersen, 201 for Luke Page, and then Corey Lazarus with the W last night, 106 points. Now, that's interesting because when we were on air last night, he was getting a 5-second invoice for the contact with the back marker. So unless that has been rescinded and not been applied, then that will change. But if it has gone through race control and stewards and whatever else and been overturned, then Lazarus gets the win, and rightly so. 106 plays 95 for Isaac Curtis, the round runner-up last night, and third for Luke Page, 89. But behind Corey Lazarus in the championship fight, 173 for Michael Vocci, 172 for Sam Chapman, 157 for Adam Lavis, and 153 for Paul Wood. The open split, the leader there is Tommy Pritchard, and he's 237 plays Wade Sheedy, 228, 210 for Paul Wilson, Stephen Gallacher, 203. And then Liam Amos, 197, Jacob McIntyre, 193, and Edward Rollo, 181 points. Jordan Pianazzola, 180, and then a tie for 171 in ninth. Joel and Hansen and Lee Peckham make up the top 10. Indycar, we can update you. Look at that. Ethan Morris, no one's catching him at the moment. 2 from 2. And a sweep of the night, a wipeout of the points on offer. 110 points for him in both instances there. Tommy Donahue, a second and a third, 192 points, 28 already the margin, 176 for Alex Tzika. So he'll be disappointed with how it finished tonight, but again, it's a mathematical game as much as it is a racing game, ladies and gentlemen. They have to be on their toes, strategically speaking, crunch the numbers, or otherwise you wear the invoice. Martin Davis, 158, 157 for Joe De La Rosa, vaults up the order into fifth spot. Then Adam Lavis, 152, Dane Snadden, 145, Greg Heaney, 142, Luke Page, 139, and Joel and Hansen, 134 points. So already 86 points covers the top 10. but it won't take long for that to balloon out a little bit further. And already there, you're seeing that we've had 4 different podium finishes so far this season. We've had a mixed bag of results across the board, and we can expect to see more of that, Joe, because we always do get a mixed bag when we go oval racing, and we've got 2 more of them still to come.
We do, and speaking of things to come...
Yeah, why not? We may as well wrap it up before 11 o'clock for once. Look at Oscar. GT4 tomorrow night? No, it's the Ferrari 488, isn't it? So for Ferrari GT3 tomorrow night, Mount Panorama Bathurst. 32 laps the journey there, and that is 8:30 Eastern. Is it 8 or 8:30 Eastern at the moment, Joe? I think it's 8.
8. Yeah, 8. Sorry. Hang on. I'll fix it.
Thank you, Joe. 8. I'm second guessing myself.
There you go. No, you were right.
There we go. 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock on the West Coast, 10 o'clock in New Zealand. Of course, it's 8:30 during the summer months, Term 4, Term 1, due to extra time zones being factored into the equation and having to facilitate that. So, yeah, 8 o'clock, Term 2 and 3, 8:30, Term 4 and 1, MtnMen, Mount Panorama, the 488 Fez. 32 laps, 200 kilometres. Best of luck to all and sundry. Formula 103.5, Waste Options Monday Night Motorsport gets us underway for week 3. And off to the Autodromo of Monza, the Temple of Speed. 30-minute race there. That'll be well worth the price of admission. That'll be top shelf stuff. 7:30 Eastern, Adam Lavis and I with you for that one. Then on to VIR. And our first look at GT3 AM for this campaign. 60 minutes the journey there, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then on Tuesday night, so that's Waste Options Monday Night Motorsport taken care of. Waste Options, of course, sponsoring both Wings and Slicks and GT3, the Open World Tin Top doubleheader. Tuesday night, the Euro NASCAR at Bathurst. Now, Joe, you don't mind your American cars. What have you had a chance at having a look at Euro NASCAR yet or not?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't bought the car, and I don't know that I will. It's. Look, it's probably going to go down a little bit like the that other Brazilian stock car. I think it'll be a fad for maybe a couple of weeks, a month, six weeks, maybe. We'll wait and see.
Sort of thing, and then off it goes. Yep.
If it stays popular and if we end up running it for a series or something like that, I might buy it and run it in there. But it's going to be an interesting one at Bathurst. It's a 2-race and reverse grid final. So, and that's a full reverse grid. So it's it may not be getting broadcast, but by God, it'll be worth getting in there for a watch if you don't want to race or get involved. That want to be a cracker. If you own the car, absolutely turn up at the mountain and have a bit of fun in that car. I think it'll be great.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to that immensely. Now, from Euro NASCAR at Bathurst, and make note of that, 2 sprint races, the reverse grid final, and a full invert. It's been a while since we've done a full invert. Jesus. Cue pandemonium and carnage there. Wednesday night, no guarantee that I'm here yet. I'm desperately trying to source a replacement because I've been asked to go and MC we'll do the ground announcing for the Brisbane Roar up against Ipswich FC here in Ipswich. But I think we've got to find them somebody else at the moment because it doesn't seem as though I'm going to be relieved here. So fun times for me this weekend trying to find ground announcers, and they're a sparse bunch too. There's not many of us around here. But if I'm here or if somebody else is here, that's what you got to look forward to. It doesn't matter who the commentary is taken care of by, but that's the assignment. The BMW M Sport Cup for merch.tgsrci.com from Road America, 2 sprint races, 7:30 Eastern. Then on to the Chicago Street Course for 2 sprint races in the Trophy AI Supercar Series from 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. So looking forward to that. Thursday night, hottest ticket in town, compulsory viewing, worth the price of admission, no doubt about that. Off to the national configuration of Donington Park first up. 7:30 Eastern for 3 super sprint races from Disruptive Labs Formula V. And then on to the GSRC Porsche Cup from Watkins Glen International on the boot configuration there It is a sprint race. It's 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. There are 2 sprint races coming your way, the all-in service, so we'll bring you all the action there, and we're very excited about that. Friday night, Joe and I are back with you. No guarantee yet, unless we get short notice on Friday afternoon again, that we'll be bringing you the GT1 Civil War. But if we
More
do...
than 30 seconds notice anyway.
Well, that'd be better than tonight. That's a record, actually. I've had short notice before, but that takes the cake. Because to paint the picture for everybody at home, I was actually logged in and I'd put myself in the Discord just there as a reminder, and I'd muted myself and all that sort of stuff. And I'm away getting a drink out of the fridge and putting the footy on so I can watch the first bit of that. And next minute I get this alert, Joe saying, we're on air in a couple of seconds. And I was like, hang on, it's not 8:30, what are you doing to me? So very, very lucky that I wasn't out running errands, I wasn't ticking boxes elsewhere. I was in the house and I was able to get into position pretty quickly. And that will be next Friday night, the assignment. If we're here at 7:30, you'll see the race from Donington Park, 40 minutes for the GSRC GT1 Civil War. If not, we then head on to Barber Motorsport Park, and we will be with you definitely for the Indycar race at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. They get underway at 8:45. We'll spin the wheel for the MtnMen, all that sort of stuff. That is next Friday night for you. And, of course, day 1 of the Commonwealth Games underway during that broadcast as well. So updates coming in from Glasgow throughout the course of the evening. Barber Motorsport Park, the venue, 48 laps the journey, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Can anyone stop the run that Ethan Morris is on at the moment? I'm not sure. Just repeating, Max Verstappen topping FP1 in Formula 1. Well done to Adelaide and the Sydney Roosters on their respective wins. Unfortunately, at the demise of my 2 teams. Not a happy camper tonight. This is why I don't do footy tipping anymore, Joe. It's too bloody frustrating. And, of course, I'll give you an update from the British Open in just a moment and a look ahead to the weekend. But there's the merch store. Don't forget to get online and support that, ladies and gentlemen. Get your hands on some GSRC merch and paraphernalia. Support the club that supports you. Support the club that keeps you entertained 4 nights a week with these broadcasts. And spread the word about who we are, what we're about, who, what, when, where, and why, and how. The Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, GSRCmerch.myshopify.com, merch.tgsrci.com. Same address, essentially. If you type one in, it takes you to the other. It does not matter. Now, the Legacy or the Evo 488 for the Ferrari, Joe, is the question from Steve.
488 Challenge, so the
Challenge,
the new one, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Steve, he could have actually just asked that question for the commentary box. He's still in position here with this. He's just got his microphone on mute.
Hey,
that's fantastic. Oh dear. Very good stuff.
He
so well
does.
done. Well done to all and sundry. So yeah, okay. So the new one is what we believe. So the other thing too, and I always mention this, race.tgsrci.com is the fully fledged website that you go to for all that relevant information about what's going on, when, where, why, and how, and who's involved in all of that. And if you want to get involved, become a member of the club. You can do that there too. Get out in the thick of the action here and join in the fun of the fair. Go racing with these blokes, and let the rather addictive drug that is sim racing grab hold of you by the throat and strangle you. We've been here for 6.5 years now. It's an addictive drug once it gets hold of you.
It's also confirmed Ferrari 488 Challenge. 110%.
Beautiful. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Well done on all of that. So there you have it. Week 2, Term 3, 2026, done and dusted. Some great racing. Well done to Ethan Morris. Well done to Andrew Dyson. Ethan Morris, a bit like Damon Woods in the Porsche Pro Invitational at the moment. It's looking more and more like these 2 blokes that are dominating Friday night are going to have one hand on the title by the time we get to the halfway mark. There'll be some that have something to say about that, but they need to do their talking on the circuit. They need to turn the misfortune of the early part of the season around and put some results on the board in the weeks ahead if there's any chance of reeling either Andrew Dyson or Ethan Morris in. Now, before we go, I wanted to update you on the British Open, the golf, because we've got an Aussie on top at the moment of the leaderboard through 2 rounds. In fact, he's still got 1 hole to play today. He started the day at even par, Lucas Herbert. He's 9 under for the round through 17. The clubhouse leader after round 1, Jackson Suber, yet to take to the fairway. He'll take to the first tee very shortly. And he is at 6 under par. Cameron Young at 5 under par, so too Daniel Brown. And Matt Wallace is at 4 under par at the moment. The next best placed Aussie is Cameron John down there in a tie for 10th on 3 under par. You can watch the British Open on 503. You can watch the Tour de France on SBS. You can watch the Formula 1 practice sessions, plus Formula 2 and Formula 3, etc., on Fox Sports 506. We're just about done. Don't forget, Sunday morning, France versus England in the bronze playoff for the FIFA World Cup. And, of course, Monday morning, the grand finale between Argentina and Spain, which we're very excited about. You will see the bronze match from 6:30 a.m. kickoff at 7 a.m. on Monday morning. It's a much bigger broadcast. It's a much bigger offering, so it requires more commitment, more coffee, ladies and gentlemen. 3:30 a.m. Eastern time with a kickoff time of 5 a.m. Yes, there will be a halftime show. Yes, there will be a whole host of post-game pomp and ceremony as well. Then you can watch the Indycar. Then you can watch the NASCAR. NASCAR from North Wilkesboro, Indycar from Nashville, where we've been tonight. And, of course, the Belgian Formula 1 Grand Prix is Sunday night at 11 p.m. So you're probably just powering on through from Belgium to the World Cup finale to the Indycar and the NASCAR, then having a few hours sleep, then coming back here to join us on Monday night. If you're a Super W fan, Stan has the women's Super W semi-finals this weekend. The 2 matches are being played tomorrow from 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. respectively. The third round of the Nations Championship Rugby, the Wallabies, good luck. They need a turnaround result there. They should get it against Italy, 7 p.m. on Stan Sports, 7:30 on 9 or 9 Gem for WA. Smorgasbord of AFL and NRL as per usual. The racing on 7 tomorrow. But all eyes, of course, starting to firmly centre on Glasgow for the commencement of the Commonwealth Games. And that is Friday morning from 4:45 a.m. So a lot to look forward to in all of that. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage this evening. On behalf of Joe Baldwin and all the broadcast commentary and production team here that have put it together for you throughout the course of not just week 1, but now also week 2 of term 3 of 2026 on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, live, exclusive and free across Facebook and YouTube. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Go out and enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend. No officials to keep you entertained in the iRacing world this weekend. Good opportunity for our guys to maybe put their feet up, grab some Zeds and relax a little bit and get ready for a big third week of competition, which gets underway Monday night from 7:25 Eastern Standard Time. Until then, from all the crew here, I'm Zach Caban. Have a great evening, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you Monday night. Bye for now.